What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Sleuth Intuition channel. Tonight is Friday Night Shenanigans. So we're just going to hang out, see what happens. Not much going on with me tonight, so I just decided that we will go live, see what happens. If you want to call in, there's a link. Click that link, and you can join me live in studio. Otherwise, we'll just hang out and have a quick chat. What's going on with you, Bear Jew? Hopefully you're having a good Friday night. I don't have anything special for you guys. Just more of a quick little hangout, really. Jari, good to see you. False flagged and banned. What do you mean permanently? What's that? What are you referring to? Are you talking about your actual YouTube channel? How the hell did that happen? That's crazy. You became a target. They tried to do the same thing to me, but when they attempted to do that, my channel was already too big. Well, bigger than them anyway. Not like my channel's big or anything, but it was big enough to sustain the attack. But I'm assuming if your channel's a little bit smaller and they do all those false reporting on your channel, they can get rid of you. Yeah, you are kind of controversial. Jari, good to see you. Where the heck is everyone? I don't know. There's not a whole lot going on. That's kind of why I went live. Anybody wants to call in, they can click on that link. Otherwise, we'll just hang out in the chat. Happy Friday. It's a little bit late. It's probably Saturday morning for a lot of you. Yep, Bear Jew. So far, so good. Went grocery shopping with the family, came back, hanging out. Everybody's already kind of in bed. I took a nice little nap, so I'm still up. Not ready for bed yet. What's up, Fishy? Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I didn't know that they took your channel down. But for anybody just joining now, anything is on the agenda, whatever you guys want to talk about. True crime, politics, how your day went, whatever, doesn't matter. We're just going to hang out. No pressure. This will be one of those live streams I'm not even sure I'll keep. It may get deleted. Not sure if you will be penalized for having me on. Don't worry, man. I've been a target. I've been a target since day one. And we're still here. And I'm still here. What's going on? Christine Robbins says, hello, everyone. Been storming here. We're getting a lot of flooding. Jari, I'm struggling to find something to talk about. Not so far. So far, so good. How'd your week go? Not much. Not much. Everybody was heading for bed, and I said, you know what? I'm not ready for bed yet. I think I'm going to go live and see what's up. See what these crazy YouTube streets are up to. Sleuth, didn't you have anything goes on Facebook a long time ago? What do you mean, Jari? Oh, my Facebook group. Yeah, I shut that shit down. That Facebook group got out of control. Out of control. What's up, Jerry? Yeah, Facebook group. It was called, I think it was called the Delphi Murders. Anything goes. Yeah, and you got to be really careful when you say anything goes because you'll learn a lot about people. And your interpretation of anything is not the same as their interpretation. What's going on with you, J Ray? What's up, Crash? How you going to get fired on your day off? Gotta be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
He gonna cry in the car.
Oh, I think we have somebody calling in. Who is this? Looks pretty suspicious. Hold on. Oh, who's this guy?
What's up, big dog?
What up?
Let's see. I'm on. Don't know how to work this on. There we go. I'm on Safari instead of the app. What's up, man?
I have to be on Safari when I'm using my phone. You got an iPhone?
Yep, the app works, and it's clunky. Or for guest stuff, if you're a guest.
Oh yeah, the guest app. Yeah, I have that. I
Mhm.
use that as a secondary camera sometimes.
Yeah, this one actually lets you chat in the chat. The app doesn't.
So
What's
what
going on,
happened?
man?
Not much.
Don't
What
know.
happened with your channel? They
I
flagged
got
it or
home and
what?
went to bed, and it just said your account. This is the third or fourth time it's happened. It's just your account has been flagged. Uh, you know how those go. It's very vague, and it said it could be automated or YouTube members, blah blah blah, and they don't give
No,
you an
I don't
answer. And then
know. Like that's
you've
never
never
happened
had
to me.
that? Oh, it's happened.
I've had people attack me. I've had people where they've tried, I think, what's happening to you, but it was unsuccessful.
Yeah, it never was before, but I think they use it against you. So
What's
YouTube
up,
does.
Ralph?
It's weird. Weird. I knew that. I was talking to Fishy. I'm like, I already knew that. I couldn't do anything. I made a Jeffrey Dahmer, Adam Walsh video, and it got taken down while the stream was on. And it was the same thing. Like, okay, it's not even controversial. It's just an
Yeah,
alternate theory.
they've been complaining about a lot of my content lately too, but I didn't get flagged or anything.
Yeah, you might be
Um,
big enough that it doesn't hit you.
I don't know. They took one of my streams down because I put I don't know. I think I
I
included something against their policy. It might have been a video of this guy. He used to be a journalist and he killed his ex-girlfriend and while they were live on air. So I can see
whoa.
why they would do that.
That's the weirdest part is normally you get that. I've never even had a strike or any of that stuff, and I've been taken down completely 3 times. That's the
Really?
weirdest.
How does that
Yeah,
happen?
yeah. I've never had a community guidelines strike. I've never had a copyright strike. I've never
Maybe you're
had...
getting all of those things, but you just shut your channel down and you don't really get a chance to kind
No,
of
it tells you when you get. I had one that somebody did one with a video, and they cited a timestamp, and they said there was nudity in it. My stuff's like this, where we just have this. There's no videos to it most of the time, and
Hmm.
they gave a timestamp, and it looked like this. I'm like, there's no nudity there. They immediately reinstated it. But no, on the studio you can see if there's any pending issues. None of it.
So that means somebody
Never
went
did.
through the whole complaint process and said
Dude,
that.
they can file. They can have in a live stream. They can have 15 people can report your comment, even if
Hmm.
you say hello, and they'll do the same thing. They won't
Mass
just take the
flagging.
comment now. Yeah, that's what I suspect it was. But
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be huge numbers.
That
You get
means that
5 of them on a small channel.
typically when that happens, it's like a Discord. It's like an
That's
organized.
exactly what I told Fishy. I said there'd be something like that. That's fine. That channel, they killed the gross doing that a long time. Any gross that you could get, it stopped. That's nutty. What?
Hopefully you downloaded some of your good interviews and
No, it says I can go back and do it though.
Okay, good. Yeah, because you had some
I
good
just
ones
want
on
the
there.
one you and I did with Galen. That's pretty
Th-
much the only thing I want out of it.
That's a good one.
I think.
Yeah, we had a good time that night.
Mm-hmm. What have you been getting up to this week, man?
We're getting ready to get some new furniture, so we're trying to sell our old furniture. So we've been having people come over looking at it. We have a big sofa and these 2 chairs. My wife thinks I should put them back here and use the 2 chairs, but I'm like, nah, I kind of like the whole like ghetto college apartment look.
No, I dig it. I like your little studio thing. That's the garage now?
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of like what one of my little apartments might have looked like when I was a little bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. I might do the same thing, man. I have an office room downstairs that we don't use. I thought
And
about
it's set up as a
converting that into...
podcast. I mean, eventually, people will catch on and start joining, and eventually I'll have a good guest, and then it'll set it off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
That was
excited
most
about
of
that.
the fun I had on YouTube, was just talking to random people. I'd probably do it again. We come back as the curious contrarian.
Yeah, just reset it up. I mean, what did you even? Where did you end up as far as like subscribers and all that?
514, but I was up over 6. But the first time that happened, it shuts off all your notifications. Then you stop going live, you're screwed. Or if you're not consistent on it. I knew that. I talked to Paradox and a couple other people. They're like, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. You can't really
Just
do it
rebrand it.
without getting...
Yeah, just rebrand it, and
That's where we're at, I think. We've
as long
got
as you can
weather
download
season
some
in
of
here
that.
now.
What's
yeah,
that?
I hope so. This is weather season. There's a bunch of other topics they always got into, so I think there's live trials and stuff. The true
I
crime
used to
stuff,
tune.
man.
I used to tune into all that, like that weather stuff, because I'm kind of a nerd. Like
Yeah,
at heart, I'm a nerd. You know what I mean? Just about
Me too.
information and different things. I'm a very curious person.
Mm-hmm. it's nutty, and that was more of what I focused on for the most part. And yeah, I think the true crime stuff's just too divisive.
I think you're just you're very vocal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And when you're
exactly.
vocal, you're very to the point.
Yep,
You
I
can
don't like that.
you can articulate that. It's hard to come back on that, you know what I mean? It's intimidating for somebody. Like when you make a point real quick to somebody, like how are they going to
Hmm.
respond when they don't have a point? They have to
Yeah.
attack you.
No, I love what you're doing, man. I'm up in the morning. I'm always listening.
Thank
Other
you. I
than this
appreciate
week,
that.
man, I had a big tornado outbreak, so I've been gassed out watching all that and seeing what's going on.
No, that shit is scary. I've been I have family from Minnesota, so I've always been terrified of tornadoes cuz I've seen the damage, you know what I mean, like firsthand.
You
We've
guys
gone
have the
we've gone
devilish laboobs.
well, when I was living, well, when I'd go visit my grandparents, and I spent some time in Minnesota, but we would have to run, you know, and go into the attic, and we'd hear the tornado sirens going, and then once everything would clear up, we would all get together and we'd go check on, you know, the friends in the neighboring town,
Mm-hmm.
and when we would go visit, you could see the damage, you know, and it just wasn't a pretty sight.
Nope. Went through Bourbon, Indiana. They got hit by one the other what's that, Wednesday night. Uh, Pretty crazy. Took a semi off the road and threw a car a couple hundred yards into somebody's barn.
Crash override says minus all the jizz stains. Jari Sean Harmon. I remember Sean Harmon. Um, yeah, before he even had a YouTube channel, I was talking with Sean Harmon. He was trying to convince me that his father was the bridge guy.
That's what I was gonna ask if that was the guy who thought his dad did it.
Yeah.
Question is, how bad's your dad? Regardless of Delphi, how bad's your dad that you think he might have done that? Like to
Well,
even suspect somebody. Whew.
I mean, even Richard Allen didn't even seem like a bad guy.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Most of the killers we know of, their kids and stuff didn't suspect them, obviously. BTK.
Yeah,
Oh, the
I
smiley
think
face killer.
we're gonna have a live stream in the near future where we're looking at other cases that Richard Allen actually might be responsible for. You know,
Ooh.
a lot of people are sending me emails, and I agree with them. Like, there's no way this dude just woke up one day, blew off his parents, and went to that bridge and was like, "I'm gonna kill two girls." You know, there's no way that's the first time he commits a crime.
That would have
So
been a
I
great
agree with them.
question
I agree
for
with
Nick
them when they say
McClellan.
that.
I haven't
You
heard
know,
anybody ask Coleman or
Nick
McClellan.
Nick is a politician. I don't care what
Yeah.
any of those guys have to say. You know what I mean? They're gonna say they're not gonna give us the
Oh
truth.
yeah.
Everything has to be. It's all a strategy with all that bullshit. So it's really meaningless, really, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, they could have asked him, "Hey, is he being looked into for anything else?" Maybe it could have gotten a yes out of it. That would have been enlightening. But no,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think anybody's even asked him.
I just feel like these guys are just responsive, you know. It's like it's almost like we have to give them the
That's true.
information. Like if they need something, I feel like it's our responsibility to provide it to them at this point.
That's
I mean, what good
crazy.
are they really? Like, I mean, they completely failed that entire investigation, and it's not their fault. You know, they didn't have much to work with.
Yeah. People have a
So
hard time getting that they walked into the answer. Like that happens a lot. That
I feel
happens.
bad
Is
for
it
them.
the Green River Killer, Ted Bundy? A bunch of those guys. They just happen. Oops.
Dan, don't go anywhere. I gotta
Yeah,
go take
man.
care of something. Give me like 1 minute, okay?
Yeah.
All right, 1 second.
And you guys in the chat, if you look into a bunch of those killers, like Ed Kemper, a bunch of them, they're not even suspects. They kind of just turn themselves in or do stupid crap until, you know, Ted Bundy style, you get pulled over with the kill kit in your car, and boom, you're out of there. I can't read the chat, so you have to bear with me for a second. Oh, Oh, Mia, I don't have one anymore. You can't even look me up. I'll eventually have something. I am on Twitter, though. That is Curious Contrarian on Twitter. It's just not. I'm just a crap poster on Twitter, though.
All right, yeah, I'm back. What I miss? What I miss?
Nothing. I think Mia asked what my channel was, and I said I don't have one. Plug the
Jay,
Twitter.
what's that?
I plugged the Twitter.
Oh, good. Do all your plugs.
That's it. That's it. That's pretty much where I'm at. I always have more fun doing things like this. I
Yeah,
saw
these are
some
fun.
update of something today, and I can't remember what it was.
It's probably Asia Degree.
Oh, Asia. Yes.
Oh,
I
I've been
didn't
all
get to
over that.
finish watching what was going on.
Yeah, I made a video and I didn't put it out.
Ooh.
I do that a lot. Like I have all these
What's
unreleased videos.
Does that is it along the same vein as the last update? Or is it totally separate?
I'm assuming it has something to do with it.
Because the last one was the car was found.
Yeah, let me show you. I have something saved on maps. And it's kind of an interesting look here. Here, bear with me a minute. Yeah, let me share my screen here. I mean, it has to be significant. I don't know why they would be kind of searching around this area here. So what I've mapped here. So this is where they conducted the most recent search. Oh, hold on. That doesn't look right. Hold on, that's not it. Oh, yeah, that's it. Sorry about that.
What is it?
Okay. So actually that isn't it. So you have 3400 Oakcrest is where Asia disappeared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's 601 Cherry something, which is not far. I think it's just right down the street here or somewhere, where they served that recent search warrant. Well, this morning, if you can see this map here, this is where they were searching this morning, was at Northbrook School number 1. It's a school that's been basically condemned. And I marked over here where her book bag was found, somewhere in this area. So this kind of gives you an idea. But today, for whatever reason, they were searching.
I wonder.
Right here at yeah, my map is all screwed up. But this is basically where they were searching today. So they must have new information, right?
You would have to assume, right?
And where the book bag was found, it like lines up with where they might have tried to dump the body. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where they were searching today. I don't know what information they're working with though, so your guess is as good as mine.
No, that's one of my gripes with some of the online sleuths is Some of them think they know stuff, and I mean, we don't even know. And then hopefully we get something out of this, and it's not something where they get information but they can't link it or something like that. And then it just sits because there's a case over by Cleveland that they had an update a couple or 2020 or something, and then nothing.
Oh, Jari's right. Jari says Sleuth used to get free dick shots on lives. Yeah, we used to get people joining these call-ins just like you did, right?
Yep.
And instead of it being you on camera, it would be them like showing their dick.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah, there was an infamous guy that targeted us back in the day.
Does that mean you have to take the whole stream down and delete it?
Yeah, because what it does is they have somebody do that, and then basically and then basically what happened to your channel is this entire group that's on Discord, you know, they go and they mass flag it. It's an assassination attempt is what it is.
That's crazy, man. People are clever, to say the least.
You got to give it to them. I mean, I'm just lucky to still be around, dude, honestly.
Yeah.
I've had like the attacks that you're going under, like I've gone through many of those. People are sick, dude.
Yep. So I don't know.
They're gross.
And the guy I got started with, same thing. They pick somebody and then they just keep going. It's fun.
Well, they try to make an example out of you.
Yeah. It's a righteous cause in their head.
Yeah, and if you take a position or you change your position, you kind of like what's going on with Elon Musk, you know what I mean? You just become a target, a symbol of their hate.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I'll move forward though.
Yeah, you should like create a new channel and then take it serious. Just to kind of do like you were really good with the call-ins and all the guests and all of that. Like you created a good atmosphere for that. And I enjoy that.
I pissed a lot of people off. To go back over my content, I'm not quite sure how. Maybe it's my Twitter. It's probably my Twitter. It's probably where most of the anger came from.
Yeah, because there is a large group that kind of migrates from Twitter to YouTube.
That's a character, though. That's the weirdest part. It's definitely exaggerated for fun.
What, your Twitter persona?
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude. But
I'm off the rails.
The thing is that you're too precise. I
that's intentional too. Yeah, that's intentional too.
Like I enjoy it, man. Like I don't know if you see me, but I'm constantly hearting that shit. I'm like, yes. I'm like, yeah. Like we're very like-minded, you know.
Yeah.
Libertarian, only voting like Republican because it's strategic, you know, things like that.
That's exactly it.
Yep.
I saw something earlier in the meteorologist community where somebody was saying we got to vote Democrat because Doge cut all their funding. And I'm like, it's not about Democrat. Just start holding your local politicians, all of you guys, to the fire and then start blowing up Doge. They'll fix it.
Yeah,
we get one storm and a bunch of people die. Guess what? They'll immediately fund it. Like they don't want that to happen, so start bugging them now before it happens.
It's kind of funny because to me, Donald Trump is a Democrat. He's like a Democratic, like conservative.
Yeah, as I say a lot, 90s Democrat.
Yep.
Probably why I like him.
And that's kind of like where I'm at. You know, I'm like an old Democrat, really.
That's full.
It's interesting. Hey, Trucker Dan.
Yeah.
Crash says, I'll call into your show. Doesn't even call into my show. Yeah, he's going to call into your show. That's fucked up. Thanks, Crash. Appreciate that.
Let's
see. Favoritism.
Uh-oh. Okay, good. I thought I messed this up. You still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. You're driving around looking for an empty trailer out here in Chicago.
Anything new going on with you?
No, kids being funny and all that stuff. Pretty milk
You're,
toast and boring right now.
are you still with your old lady?
Oh yeah, my 4-year-old's potty training. That's pretty boring to most of the people, but it's kind of exciting.
Yep, I'm
Oh
gonna
man,
have.
how's
I have
Mama
all that.
doing?
She's doing great, man. Like, I don't know. I have this weird like attraction to her right now.
Dude, that's real. They're insane. This is which
It's
number are
like an
you on?
aura. It's like an
Third?
aura. Yeah, this will be number 3.
Oh man, yeah, they glow.
Yeah,
Not in
it's
some
weird.
fruity way.
Mm-mm. I don't think she knows it either. Like, maybe it's just me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, it's real. Same thing. I don't know about your woman, but mine's way more level-headed when she's pregnant. Believe it or not, really nice.
I don't know. She's on and off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's a lot more. Mine's a lot more level-headed when she's
She's always
with
level-headed.
child. Oh, not mine, bro.
Yeah, she's always
More like
level-headed.
panicked and stressed and all that stuff. But
I
she's
found
pregnant. She's pretty chill.
I found the female version of myself, basically. Opposites don't attract. I don't know. You know, that might work with electricity, but it doesn't work with fucking people.
I have the exact opposite experience with that, dude. I was in a long relationship with somebody who was just like me, and it was boring.
Well, you have to be opposite. You can be the same, but opposite in certain philosophical ways. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's it. Have to challenge each other, but not in a "I hate you" kind of way.
But you have to be very similar, I think, at the core of everything.
Yes, that's it. That's a better way of putting it.
So yeah, you can be opposites, but I think at the core, you guys need to have like common ground. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
Like her, she
you guys
respects me
gotta.
as a Christian. She's more of kind of like a kind of heathenistic, you know, earthly. And I always tell her like she's my plus one. You know, like it doesn't matter as long as she respects me as the head of my household. You know, she'll always be my plus one when we go to heaven.
That's it.
J Ray says that's a chemical thing. So I agree with that. Yeah. Chemistry. That's what they say. We have chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's true.
And a willing to compromise, but not capitulate. Not to accept. What do you call it? Mediocrity. Maybe that's just my house. I don't know. I don't like
I fear resentment.
fear resentment.
Yeah, I fear resentment. I think resentment is the killer of all relationships.
That's true. That's true. Or holding on to crap and letting it fester.
So constantly, I think being open and communicating and being proactive with discussion helps with that. Because once you have that resentment, it's kind of like there's no
Mm-hmm.
going back. You know what I mean? It's like it is what it is.
Yeah, and then the listening part of that. I think it's friendship too. Like uh, I don't know. I'm really stubborn, but we get through that.
I think for me, it's like I think there's a misconception that women are romantic, and that's just not the case. It's like men are the hopeless romantics.
That's true.
I think that gets lost. Laugh out loud. Fishy says, Dan stubborn.
Hey.
What's going on, Cindy? Oh, just got home from work. Hopefully you had a great day. Happy I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday morning for you.
I like to argue too.
Oh yeah. You know,
Passionately over
being
anything
right
for fun.
being right is a good thing. It's fun.
Yep. Even being wrong, if you can learn something out of it.
Well, if you can be strategically wrong, you can exist the way that I do.
Yeah, yeah. Be wrong to get the answer you want, just
Yeah.
to or challenge your own ideas.
Be beneficially wrong.
Hmm. Oh man,
Mark's asking, where's everyone from? I'm from Arizona.
Ohio. Born in Indiana, I should say, but
Born in Indiana, raised and living
30.
in
It's that's 25 minutes from where I live and grew up. Where I was born, it's Indiana. Same thing.
where's the
It's
chat
closest
from?
thing.
Where's everybody in the chat from? Where are you from, Mark? Crash says we all make mistakes. The willingness and execution of forgiveness is the key. Yeah, forgiveness is everything. Anger and hatred, to me, that's just basically you falling victim to the evil that we deal with in daily life. Like you're a victim at that point. If you're angry, like you've fallen a victim to that evil, I think. Louise, good to see you, Louise. Says California. J Ray says the US of A.
Ooh, Gulf of USA or Gulf of America?
Careful, don't get me banned now. Don't get me shadow banned. Don't worry,
That could have been it too. We did what was it? The
I've been shadow banned.
State of the Union. Yep. No,
I've
I
been,
know. I see it.
I've,
see it.
I've been shadow banned for a long time, at least 2 years now. It's a problem with
Well,
YouTube.
you're big enough. They want you to freaking pay for the push. That pay to play.
They've just halted me, man. They've halted me for a long time. It was because I used to have my channel 2 connected with this channel, and it was just like basically like a MAGA,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then that's when it all started. I had this great growth. It was like this uphill spike. And then as soon as I kind of expressed where I was politically, oh yeah, I've been dampened.
I lost a 1,500 follower Twitter account over posting just the term Donald Trump. So I understand that. Friend of mine did it. He's like,
tough.
hey, that'll get you banned. Did it. Immediately got permanently banned. That was 2016?
Oh, that was
That's
a rough
probably
year.
part of it. Yeah,
That was a
State of
rough
the
year.
Union.
That
It
was
might have been
almost as rough
2015
as
because I think it was the
2024.
election cycle.
Yeah, 2016 sounds about right.
Crazy.
Cindy, I think if I come home, dishes are done, no burnt out light bulbs, I'm happy. Skip the roses, I'll take some daisies.
Ooh, my old lady's sunflowers.
Yeah, mine too.
Fortunately enough, I live out in the boonies, and 2 years ago, the farmer planted like 100 or 200 acres of sunflowers for curtilage for his cattle. So, and I asked him, I was like, "Can I pick them?" And he's like, "Many as you want."
Yeah, I wouldn't even have
fresh
asked.
sunflowers all year. I know the guy. He lets me use some of his equipment and stuff.
Farmers don't care, dude.
No.
They don't care.
No, but they like when you
sweet
ask.
corn. They don't care. They do it for everybody else anyway.
He's just older guy. Real nice. It was really pretty though. You get to go open your window and see a whole field of sunflowers.
Mia says born and bred from London, Essex. Shout out to Essex. But lives in Australia.
Shout out to both. I love Australia.
Ralph says Yorkshire. Shout out to the UK, United Kingdom. Jari, Colorado.
Yeah, that's on my list of places to go too.
What,
Colorado.
Colorado?
Yep, your state's on my big
Arizona's
list to go
way
to.
better than Colorado. Colorado right now is like one of the main liberal holdouts left.
Yeah, they got some legislation
Paradox
going
always
right
gets
now.
offended when I tell him that. But
We're not that bad.
they are, though. They're like the worst.
I'm like, you're not that bad, dude.
We're good. Arizona's great. We basically represent the United States of America. Arizona is the epitome of the USA. We're like right down the middle.
Yeah, I was bummed that you guys didn't get Kerry Lake in there.
Man, we weren't. We're not bummed. We kind of like being. I don't mind having like Democratic leaders in the Arizona because they're Republicans anyway.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what Paradox is saying about Colorado. I'm like, everything's. Like he's saying their governor's kind of old school Democrat.
They're the only ones that like voted recently to like they made it a law where you have to use like pronouns.
What? Compelled speech law? Did it pass?
Yep, it passed this morning.
The governor signed it, or it just passed the House?
No, it's in law.
That won't last.
So it's that kind of shit. Like,
I don't know how their circuit is, but that doesn't. Are you guys in the same circuit court?
No. Mark is asking, is weed legal in Arizona? Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. You guys are a libertarian's dream.
Yeah, I love Arizona. It's great. It's probably the greatest state, dude, honestly.
We got it in Ohio, and you can't get pre-rolls yet because they just based it on the medical stuff apparently.
Yeah, they just kind of.
Our medical was only the oil or dry vape.
I call that just the tip.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it happened. That's how it was in California. I think California was the first state to legalize marijuana, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was Colorado, but it may have been California.
No, Colorado, I think, was the first state to legalize mushrooms.
Colorado, California. Was it Arizona?
No, Arizona.
Or Oregon, the first three.
Yeah, Arizona took a while. We've only been legal for probably maybe 10 years.
Yeah, Ohio tried to do it back in 2015 or 16, and they set it up with only Steve Bob and all his crew can grow it, sell it, own it, and everybody else can't. And
Indiana's I think they're on the verge. They really want it.
Indiana doesn't even have medical, dude. They're a red state for real.
Oh yeah.
Not even. Yeah, you can't even have medical over there. They don't care. They don't really mess with people about it, but
yeah, and a lot of people don't understand. Like, I am a conservative, but most conservatives, they don't like marijuana. You know, they're against it.
The Catholic and evangelical
Crash Override. You're in Arizona? Me too. 28 grams a day for cannabis. Yeah, we can grow.
You can buy? That's crazy. We can too.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've enjoyed. When we first went legal here for recreational, well, actually, medicinal, I had my medical card, so I was growing then too before it became legal recreationally. But 12 plants, 2 adults in the home. I can grow 6 per adult. I just started growing. I was growing some really high because that's what I used to do. I used to grow marijuana. My whole life I've been growing it. Just something I did. It's easy to grow your own marijuana, guys. Very easy.
Yep. Yeah, so it's a weed.
Yeah, it's a 6-month cycle. Well, it's more of a flower than anything. It's like an herb.
I say to grow good cannabis is the to grow that fire, it's a little more difficult, I think.
No, I don't think so, man. Honestly,
No,
it really isn't. It's not. You just need a really good seed. You need a good soil. You need to know what type of nutrients, and then you need to basically put it on steroids when it comes to like lights. And you don't even have to wait 6 months. You can wait. I don't know. You can wait as long as you want. Really, it's up to you when you flower it. It's up to you to. It's weather modification, really.
I still like this thing where you guys that grow it learn that you break the branch. I forget what it's called. You break the branches to stimulate the plant to produce more of the compound that's psychoactive. I don't know what the
Mhm.
TOS is along that line.
Yeah, that's a type of training. The reason that started is basically you can break the branch or you can break the stem, and then you can shape which direction the branch goes. So it's not necessarily for potency; it's more for ultimately you'll gain potency, but really it's just to kind of control where your plant is growing. Because if you can control where it's growing, you can control where all the buds are getting, make sure they're all getting the equal amount of light. And then that'll ultimately give you the quality that you're looking for.
I still like. You ever see the studies they did where they played crunching caterpillars around plants and it induced stress response to the plants?
Yeah. I mean, the same goes for humans.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, that works with us too. Like playing classical music for your plants can have a positive response. Same goes with
I had
people.
no idea that worked. That's
hmm Music, it kind of reminds me of Ghostbusters 2, where they kind of have that slime.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's us, dude. That's us. That's how we respond.
It made me think of Mars Attacks.
That's a good one.
Tom Jones.
Yeah. That's a good movie, dude.
We have any other updates in the true crime world that all of us should know about?
There's a lot going on with the Brian Koberger case. Like he's fucked.
Anything new, information wise, or just
There's also some
defense flailing?
information coming out on Rex Heuermann.
Ooh, that's one I
Yeah.
haven't catch Lisk, I think, on Twitter. The guy,
hmm
normally I see stuff, I haven't seen anything. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
bad
there was a
case.
hearing. There was a hearing, I think, 2 days ago, and they played a clip from Jurassic Park.
Oh, oh
Yeah, they
no.
want to talk about the nuclear DNA testing that linked Rex Heuermann. So they played that. Yeah, I was gonna go
Oh,
live today with that, but I'll probably do that tomorrow. But yeah, they
that's a good
played an actual
idea.
clip from Jurassic Park.
Him with the amber.
hmm And I have all that too. I even took that from Jurassic Park. I have it queued up, so it should be fun. Fishy says Oregon. I think she's right. Maybe even. I mean, I would guess New York, but maybe I'm wrong.
What's that?
For
What's Oregon?
legalization, I think for
Oregon's
legalized.
first or third?
I think California, Oregon, maybe New Mexico, Colorado. Just all these like Democratic states. I guarantee we're first.
Oh yeah. Which is crazy to the conservative and stuff. Tax revenue. It bothers me that that's the only thing holding it back from me. It's still Schedule 1, Sleuth. It's still Schedule 1, bro.
And I mean, it should be because I mean, it's the marijuana is a lot like cocaine. I think.
Cocaine is not Schedule 1, dude.
I feel like cocaine is less than marijuana.
Yeah. Well, the one is like there's no medicinal purpose for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what delineates it. We know there's some medicinal purpose, even for nausea and cancer and all that good stuff.
Well, they used to give
So
cocaine to for medical. I think there's numbing
they still
purposes.
do.
Yeah, hold that
Lidocaine,
thought.
Novocaine, or cocaine. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be right back.
lidocaine, cocaine. I think Ritalin is a derivative. I'm gonna look up the states. To legalize recreational cannabis. There we go. Colorado and Washington were the first two states to do it. November 6, 2012. I think California was the first medical state. I remember Joe Rogan talking about you could just call anybody and get a card. Oh, wow. Here you go. Let's list them. Number 1, Colorado. 2, Washington, same time. 3, Alaska. 4, Oregon. I didn't even know it was legal in Alaska. 5, California. 6, Maine. 7, Massachusetts. 8, Nevada. 9, Vermont. 10, Michigan. Let's see when Arizona was. 2020. There we go. We got it in November 2023, but it wasn't active until April 2024. I'm a commercial driver, so we're not even allowed to look at it.
What's that?
Oh, I went through the top 10 legal ones. You guys are 2020. First two states were not California. They were Colorado and Washington the same day.
Oh,
November
okay.
6,
Yeah, that's
12.
right.
Then Alaska, bro. I didn't even know it was legal in Alaska. I had no idea. In Oregon and California and a bunch of over on the East Coast states, Maine and Massachusetts, all that. Crazy.
Yeah, shit is really crazy. It's all politics, man. It's all
That's it.
politics. It's disgusting.
Yeah, the drug war doesn't seem to have done much good for anybody in the country.
No, kind of like Desert Storm.
Which one? One or
Yeah.
two? All the above.
The Gulf War, Desert Storm, which one?
It sure
Which do
made
you
the Middle
prefer?
East really like the United States. I can say that much.
Isn't that what created ISIS?
Yeah, we did that. We came, we saw, he died.
Oh, easy there, Hillary.
I can't even do
Calm
that
down,
laugh.
Hillary.
I can't even do that laugh.
Man, imagine if she became president. I was shocked. That's why I'm such a fan of Donald Trump, because I had, in my wildest dreams, I never thought he would become president.
I always had this crazy conspiracy in my head of it seemed like they wanted him to be president. It doesn't look like it, but the thing in my head is they run a crappy candidate that even the other side doesn't like. Hillary. Even all the Democrats I knew couldn't stand Hillary. And then the news does the Streisand effect and just goes nuts on the other guy, so they give him billions in free promotion. Probably not true at all, but
no. But when you're looking at the puppeteers and the powers that be, and you're looking at things from a chess player's point of view, yeah, that's what they do: divide and conquer. They get the Democratic. The way I look at it is there's two signs that are planted in the ground. They tell everybody, okay, line up according to who you are. They have one sign that goes into the ground like, hey, I'm a conservative. Then over here is another sign that goes into the ground like, hey, I'm a liberal Democrat. And people just line up accordingly. And then the government's like, okay, we're going to manipulate them according to how they line up.
I had friends that I worked for at a union job that were staunch blue old school Democrats.
Yeah.
Not new to, not progressive at all, but they were all, Joe this and all that. And I'd say at least 4 or 5 of them afterwards, the company we worked for went under, were like, now I get what you were saying. So I didn't even vote for the Cheeto man the last time. I didn't even, on the presidential part, I didn't even vote in 2020. And
No, I voted for
I
him
was
3
telling
times.
them, like, yeah, you guys are Gary Johnson the first time, but I just wanted to watch the, I wanted, exactly why we voted for him. I wanted to watch things get torn apart, people scream, and things to get better. And yeah, they're all like, yep. They just basically followed the news and didn't realize what was going on. They were voting against a person, not for the other, and they regretted it afterwards.
Well, I'm a guy who voted for Barack Obama the first time.
That's something I've tried to tell people too.
Like
Everyone I know that voted for Trump voted for Obama, and my family and stuff.
Yeah, I know what it feels like to be manipulated emotionally, to have an idea and to be a positive person. You're thinking, okay, America's ready for our first black president because he's going to be this great, he's going to be like John F. Kennedy. He's going to be this great president, right? But that's not what happened. They basically used this candidate and his blackness against me. They used it to elicit a response, an emotional response, and it worked. And I always told myself I would never do that again, because Barack Obama, if you look at what he's done with the United States of America, it's been awful.
And you feel bad too.
The thing is we didn't have any division really between races until Barack Obama. It's almost like that was his job, was to create that racial division.
Well, and you go back to his campaign thing, and a lot of people that are on the Trump side now don't understand that they campaigned on the same stuff, the exact same stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
immigration,
let's close
and
the
things
border
like that.
down, end the
Yeah.
wars, everything. Yes.
Yeah, he was the one that was putting people in cages. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna be honest, I would have never voted for McCain or Romney. Still, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, George Bush, McCain, Obama, all those
We
guys.
got we got him
part of
we
the
got him
same
anyways.
cabal. Yeah.
Everybody that voted for Obama, you got him anyways. You got George Bush this third and fourth term.
Yeah, they're all the same, man.
Or fourth and fifth.
And that's why when Donald Trump became president, I was like, oh shit, okay, I know what happened. Like, they tried to rig the election for Hillary Clinton, and Russia somehow sent in their hackers, right, to prevent it. And the Democratic Party knew. They're like, hey, we had this thing perfectly rigged. There's no way Donald Trump won. If he won, it's because somebody came in and neutralized what we were doing.
But do you remember what Trump's campaign and Steve Bannon were doing with Cambridge Analytica?
Yeah, I liked it.
Brilliant.
I loved
Well,
it.
they got rid of it. That's fine. They get rid of it, but
Yeah,
it was there. It was available. Go and target ads on Facebook and target people to not get them demoralized not to vote. The other people ramp them up to go out and vote. Like, why wouldn't you? They just played the game that was there.
No, people don't realize how scary it was to be an American at that time, like pre-COVID, and then when COVID hit. My channel, I had a conversation with somebody. He's passed away now, Bruiser. We had a conversation. It was a political conversation, and they threatened to completely annihilate my channel. I had like 300 subscribers. Yeah. When I first got started. And it was my first, like, it wasn't really a strike, it was a warning. And man, it really fucking scared me. It like shook me. But it controlled me, you know what I mean?
Did you question the narrative? Oh man.
Ooh. Yeah, they put me in control, dude. Like, they were controlling me.
What do you call it? YouTube's done this a lot.
It was around the time when Alex Jones
themselves.
It was around the time when Alex Jones was getting banned. It was like around that time. Yeah.
All people remember is the topic in which they went after him for, rather than the implications of what happened.
Yeah, it was kind of a
And
scary
you can't
time.
mention
And I
that
didn't even
topic on
and I
YouTube.
didn't I don't think I even said it. Like we didn't say anything. We were just talking about COVID. And it was during this really fascist time, where they were like trying to fire
Do
people.
you
Like we don't
remember Facebook, dude? They put
Yeah,
out
it
a
was
thing
fucked up.
saying you couldn't mention Alex Jones unless you were threatening, criticizing, or something along that vein. They put out a memo about that.
Oh,
Somebody leaked
YouTube is
it.
still on that shit, dude.
Oh
They're
yeah,
still shadow banning. They've been shadow banning me. It's been fucked up, dude. It's been fucked up.
I
But
see
you
you've
had
grown since I've known you. I think you're up
no, man.
1,000, aren't you? Because you were 80s,
No.
85, and now you're 92.
No, man. I've been at like 92 for like a year.
Oh shoot! I thought you were at 8 something.
No, man. Like I'm up against it. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just trying to
I think true crime's a hard one to grow in, and the people that are already there that are big, they're not growing. I think it's like political stuff. They seem to have cut all that down. They want you to make stupid vlogging videos.
Mhm.
Like that's what they're more going to. But the part that sucks is people love watching that stuff.
Well, the thing is my channel hasn't diminished. I have a solid core of like a very supportive core. Like the
Yeah.
people that follow me, the majority they are conservative, maybe not necessarily Republican. They're conservative. They support victims' families. They support the victim side of things, and they lean towards law enforcement. But they're extremely skeptical of everything, really, and that's who we are. And we're not a big group. The group that I've attracted is not. It's not the majority. You know what I mean?
No, no, the majority now is just I love stuff, but it's just conspiracy stuff.
It really is.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be fact based. Some of it definitely can
But
be.
who's the fool? I believe I'm the fool, right? Like to assume that this is not entertainment.
Well, are we not all dumb for like? And I've had this conversation with people on the other side of our community that we're all around it, where you could just start talking about the other side, and you could watch all your numbers blow up. That's where a lot of the push is, and I just don't have the ability to do it. I don't know about you. I assume not. But pick
I
any
don't know.
case
I don't
and
I don't
look
know
at
if
the
I have
Twitter
the
trends.
energy. To me, I'm
Yeah.
just about I'm staying consistent with if I be positive, I keep creating a
Mhm.
platform for the victims. Eventually things are just going to work out in my benefit. That's just the way it is. That's the way the universe works. Um but identifying the force that we're up against, it's like disgusting. It's I mean, I don't even know how to describe it.
And I think we've gotten into this thing. Even I've fallen victim to it, where people uh, put lawyers up on a pedestal, forgetting what lawyers are at the core.
Are you referring to people like Osbrook?
Oh no, no. I mean in general, like LawTube,
Well, what
anything.
what about doctors? I mean, would you put them in the same category if you're having a
As
medical
somebody that
discussion?
went to school for it, honestly, the regular people put them up on this pedestal where it's hard to say because you can't like, oh, you didn't go to med school, you don't know. But also the people that went to med school, as they said when we were in school, if you're not taking and reading everything, which is more time than you have time, if you've been out of med school for 4 or 5 years, you're antiquated.
Yeah,
Science
exactly.
is constantly evolving, and you go and you have an old doctor. If it's a surgeon, you're probably good, but who knows? Look at the food pyramid. 5 or 6 years ago, bread, you got to eat nothing but bread. Now they're finding out they don't even know what you should eat. All of it. Remember the Alzheimer's thing that came out, or the pioneering study for Alzheimer's?
Well, the Earth was flat.
Seemed to
What are you
be
talking about?
falsified. Exactly. Exactly. I try to tell people this with a research background is.
Well, it's
It
funny.
doesn't
Like
have to be a conspiracy. When money's
when you
involved,
talk
things
to
get weird.
UFOlogists, and they're like, "Oh, what do you
Yeah.
think about Elon Musk?" They're like, "Well, I think that we're done with candlesticks." You know what I mean? Like he's trying to take these candlesticks to Mars, and it's not realistic. We need the real technology that's being hidden to be, exposed. Really, it's anti-gravity and things like that.
I
It's
don't
not
know
this.
if it's real. I hope so. I'm Fox Mulder on that, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you sound more like Scully.
I'm definitely skeptical, but I also want it to be true. I watch a lot of that stuff.
Well, I mean, we know it's true. We know our history proves it's true. When it comes to technology, I don't care how smart you are. The faucet is definitely limited on what they're letting out to the
for
public.
sure. I just don't know if the math jives up on some of it.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't know whether there's new math out there that we don't know. But
Well, sometimes you need to, is the equation even right? Is the math that they're presenting like
that
what is the math of space? You know what I mean? Is that real?
Yes, that's exactly it. Questioning everything all the time. It's so much fun. I love watching flat Earth videos and all kinds of stuff. Challenging,
Did
even
you
if it's
see the
silly.
recent video that they put out?
Which one?
Actually, I think it might have been put out by or X. They went over I think they went over the North Pole.
Oh, the astronauts first. What did they say? They're the first. Why did they say that? I'm trying to think of the first astronauts to.
Yeah, to go over the pole.
South
Let me
Pole
see if I
North
have it. I can. Yeah, maybe I'll just put it up on screen. Here, let's see.
Man, you can't get close to that ice wall.
Exactly, bro. It was blowing my. You want to know what was crazy? Is it looked like a fucking ice wall.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Let's see.
It's even crazier when you know some of the stuff behind it. They find not fossils, but frozen tropical plants down there in the ice. It's weird.
Well, I mean, it kind of puts everything into perspective when they showed us what they found in Egypt recently under the pyramids. It's like you've barely fucking found that. You're barely telling us that you found that. Like you guys don't know shit.
Where are
about
you at on that one? Because when I looked at it, was it a week or two ago, 3 weeks ago? It was on Twitter blowing up that there's these coil springs running up, and well, then you read the research paper and you're like, oh, there's evidence that there's some shaped structure going down there, but it's newer technology. But then when you read the research paper, you're like, oh, you mean from space you could see underground? And they're gonna tell me you couldn't find Osama bin Laden, bro? Like what?
Well, we all know that they could because
Yeah.
they found Osama bin Laden because reporters actually went and interviewed him. And then we killed him in Pakistan, right?
Yep. Right next to a military academy.
Yeah, we knew where he was. He was an Illuminati card.
That's right.
I never even expected.
That's it. Look at this shit.
That's true. Let me show you.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
And they start freaking out because they're trying to figure out what that is under the water. You see the ice sheets under the water? And then there's even like some tracks right there. You see that? That's probably water coming out of there. But
that's the Admiral Byrd.
Yeah, so he's tripping out. He's like, what the fuck is that? Because you can kind of see this area right here, right?
Yeah, but you see below that,
It's like
thin
layered.
layer
He's
of
like the shit below
clouds
that.
and
What is
maybe
that?
the ice.
So this is clouds. Then you have the ice, but underneath this ice is like another layer. Fucking weird.
The
Crazy, huh?
crazy part is it's almost too cold to even go and do expeditions out there most of the time too.
They're out there though. They're out there. We're out
Oh
there.
yeah. Well, didn't they just have a homicide up there recently, or
A homicide? What the fuck?
I don't remember if it was homicide or I think people are stranded there, and there's somebody in there started going nuts and attacking them. I don't know if you read about that. That was pretty nutty.
That sounds like the movie The Thing.
Yes. Yeah. What, you get
Or
cabin fever, I
that
assume.
that Val Kilmer movie. What was that? That was a good one. Did you watch that?
Why does my brain want to say Waterworld?
No, that's not Val
I don't
Kilmer.
think that's even Val Kilmer.
Not even close. Let's see.
Yeah, we know nothing. We're we're
It's called
ignorant
The
monkeys.
Thaw.
The Saw? I'll have to watch it. I
Yeah,
have
go
not
check
seen
it
that
out.
one.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good one. The Thaw is a 2009 American science fiction horror thriller film directed by Mark A. Lewis, starring Val Kilmer. Yeah, it's a good one, man. It's
Dude,
pretty good.
we're trying to colonize Mars, and
Not with
we ha-
candlesticks. I mean, come on, man.
but we
Like, to
haven't
me, that's
even
just a
we can't
marketing
even
scheme.
we can't even colonize Antarctica
Yeah, let me tell
or
you
the bottom of
this.
the ocean.
You want to know what's going on with Elon Musk and his so-called journey to Mars? You know what he's doing? He's preparing for Earth to have a nuclear war or something.
Yeah, of course.
And then what
That's
he's
what
going
he
to do
said.
is he's going to launch up into one of his rockets, cuz think about it. All you need is 4 years after nuclear holocaust. That's it. And his rockets are designed to sit up in space like a satellite. All he's got to do is sit up there in his camper trailer, you know what I mean, for 4 years and come back to Earth. And after the nuclear war, he doesn't need to claim Mars. He can come down and claim Earth.
Well, that's if they do it in a polite way, right? If they're not bombing the surface, you bomb the surface, you can make it uninhabitable permanently. Like even Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they dropped it high enough so that it didn't stir up the dirt and radiate the
Well,
dirt.
fuck nuclear
They-
war. What about like some kind of weird asteroid?
That's the other
We
thing
have
he said.
Apophis.
It could happen anytime. We missed.
Yeah.
Look how many near misses we catch, and how many they
Yeah.
find out or we miss.
So I don't think he's trying to go to Mars. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to kind of get away from Earth and go into a satellite state while the entire world is destroyed. And then now he not only that, he's trying to have like internet and all that shit at the same time, you know what I mean? Like he's trying to have like a 5-star hotel up in space while the entire planet is completely destroyed. And I don't blame him for that. If he can accomplish
think-
that, like that's
I think
great.
he also knows that economies are going downhill. We're all getting stir crazy, and people are about to start like going after each other all over the world, like World War III. I think
Well,
he's
it's
hedging his
designed.
bets
I mean,
against
what's
that stuff too.
there's no reason for like Islamists and people from the Middle East to be infiltrating like places like the UK and things like that. There's no reason for that.
Yeah,
Like to me, that's
creating
it's obvious.
enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Europe wants to go to war with Russia.
Yeah, problem solution, right?
Hegelian dialectic.
Yep, exactly. Create the problem.
I think
I got the solution for you.
I think he sees the writing on the wall. Because if it's not now, it could be 10 years. But I mean, you can't.
But isn't
If
that what
somebody who's
draws most
capable of
people to
getting away-
Trump? But I think what you were trying to say earlier is that you're thinking maybe Trump is like just a part of it, another pawn of it. You know?
No, I wasn't saying.
No, but
I think Trump will put
not
it
not
off.
that that's what you're saying, but it would be
Mhm.
perfect if he was. You know, he's like we're
I think
dragged
he's
in
just
one
stalling.
Well, we're dragged in one direction And then
Mhm.
before we decide who the real enemy is, they drag us in another direction. And then
That's
before we have an
that's it.
opportunity to decide who our real enemy is, well, they drag us over here back, you know.
I was just telling Paradox earlier. Think of it this way: we're cutting off funding to Ukraine. Like it, hate it, doesn't matter. Right now, we could get a ceasefire today, and it's done in 3 years. If people don't change how they hold our government to account, and I don't mean violently, I mean with your voting,
Mm-hmm.
with your just being the people, they will
Well,
go right back to doing what they're doing, poking the
what about
bear.
you're forgetting about subversion though? I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's been the most brilliant military weapon in the last 40 years, I think, is ideological subversion. Fuck
do
a
you
missile.
remember in 2014 when the internet
Yeah.
changed?
Well, 2014 is when I first learned about Ukraine. And what a lot of people don't know, because they didn't hear about Ukraine until just a couple of years ago. I've been researching it since 2014 when they were shooting their own citizens during a protest.
Yeah.
And I was realizing what my government was doing to subvert
Oh,
that entire
overthrowing their election.
exactly. So that's
Mhm.
why I know what's going on now. Most people don't realize what's going on now because
And they won't listen.
they don't have any clue what happened in 2014.
Yeah.
Kind of like Syria. When you see a country shooting their own protesters, that's when you know that
Mhm.
they're nothing like the United States of America, that they're going to kill their own protesters. Well, I have big news for everybody who's out there listening. That's what they were doing in Ukraine in 2014. They were killing their own people.
Yeah.
And not
Yeah.
only that, but they were torturing people and putting them, crucifying them and torturing them on tape um, in the wilderness.
Clo- The closest thing we got to that was the I couldn't really say this politely, the inauguration thing that happened here where they just locked people up indefinitely.
Yeah. So it's kind of sad. That's the one thing that evil has going for them is that we basically have short attention spans. Like we don't remember what happened in 2014. We have no clue.
No, we live
All
in
we
4 year
know is
and
what.
2 year
Yeah,
cycles.
not even that. Well, 4 days, bro. 4 days,
Oh
not
yeah, that's
four
true.
years. We're
Did
living in
you
4
see
days.
tonight with Trump? Did you see what he tweeted or last
Yeah,
tonight for
yeah,
you
and
last night about the Yemen?
it's amazing, and I can see what he's doing, and I know exactly how it's going to turn out, and it's I don't need to be a
Okay.
sleuth. I don't need to have intuition. I just have to have common sense to know that it's going to work out.
No, they're talking about Yemen. Last 2 weeks ago, there was a picture of a U.S. ship on fire that was going around, and all the fact-checking stuff was saying it wasn't really attacked and it's not real. Uh,
Oh yeah, I saw the answer. They
okay.
blew up a whole group of Yemen
Oh
soldiers
yeah, yeah,
this
and
morning.
then yeah, and one Trump said they will never sink our ship again. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, they didn't sink one of our ships or blah blah blah. I'm like, the president pretty much just confirmed it, even though the military denies it. So what is it?
I don't
You
know. The
know?
only answer I have for your question is civil war.
Yeah, I hope not. That's not going to
One
be
second, I'll
pretty.
be right back.
Yeah, and I don't know where you guys are on that chat. You're probably not wrong on whichever way you lean. Poking the bear Jew. Yeah, I recommend anybody check out that. Other than them uh, bombing people, that stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I feel like Syria back in Obama's time, the people said no to go into war there. Gotta make sure we're saying no to go into war anywhere and hold all their feet to the fire. And trying to keep them from provoking people into attacking us so that we have an excuse to go to war. Oh yeah, J-Ray. I was getting into 2014, mentioning the internet changing. I don't know if people remember this, but Google used to be, when you search for something on Google, you would get an answer linked to your result, whether it be a political thing, a health topic, whatever. And then around 2014, it switched to trusted sources. Everything did. You can try this on YouTube for yourself. You'll get nothing but mainstream news articles about it. Even if you know the name of the videos, it won't come up. You'll get refutations for things you're searching for that you're not even searching for. Even if you like the getting into the weeds of crazy stuff, you won't find it. People forget that you used to actually be able to watch stuff. It's weird. It's a weird time. I don't know if you remember when the trusted sources stuff started with Google and all the social media platforms, Sleuth, but
Yeah, I mean, I knew what it was. The only question is, are we still under it
yes.
in a different, in just a different way? And I feel like we are, probably.
You can do it now. Pick any topic, political, health, click Google, and look at the results and where the results come from. You're not going to get Dr. Peter McCullough or somebody like that. You'll get CNN saying that it's horse paste or blah, 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 blah. And even YouTube used to be really bad. You search for a video that was contraindicative of a narrative or even something like that. You search for the exact title and it wouldn't come up.
Well, didn't Facebook try to, I don't know, they came forward and they kind of admitted what was going
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
that was a little more advanced, but they're still doing what they were doing before the beer bug.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. Crazy.
The amount of manipulation will never really, I don't think we'll ever really grasp because they won't allow it. You know what I mean?
It's Joseph Goebbels' wet dream, like the propaganda.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
We hold it in our hands all day, every day. It's just instant access to the propaganda.
No, I did a live stream on how people were attacking Tesla and they really don't know why they're attacking it. Dude, I lost 30 subscribers in one day.
No.
And got 6 pieces of hate mail.
They don't know why they hate the president either.
No, they have no clue. Dude, they had no clue. It was fucking weird. They have no clue
hysteria.
that both assassins were from BlackRock.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. What
They have
about
no clue, man. They
Elon
have
talked
no
about it on
clue.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah, no clue.
The
These
only
people have
one
no
of
clue.
Trump's campaigns that were live streamed by CNN was that campaign.
And if you watch,
They said
Trump
that they
on
couldn't
CNN,
post somebody on the roof because the pitch was too steep, even though they had people sitting on roofs that had more of a pitch to them. Ooh.
and you know what? It doesn't matter if you convince them because you want to know why? They don't care. They're for it. They're like, good.
You remember the NPC?
They're like, good. I
meme?
hope that I don't care what they do as long as they kill Trump. They don't care about the manipulation and how the Constitution
It's
is
because we haven't lived through it. People don't even remember Shinzo Abe. Remember Shinzo
spoiled,
Abe?
man. Yes, these guys are spoiled.
I wonder. Well, ask the chat. Does anybody know what happened to Shinzo Abe, or who that is? He's the prime minister. I'll ruin it.
Hold on. J Ray says, "Wait, you're holding wet dreams in our hands." Speak for yourself on that one, Dan. Boston says Navy, U.S. Navy, U.S. Navy.
Yeah, Shinzo Abe was attacked with a homemade projectile spewing device, like a blunderbuss. He wasn't even the prime minister of Japan anymore. Just ended. I don't even know if they ever released why.
And we've talked about that before. And the thing is that during Trump's first term, he was really good friends with him.
I
You want
think
to talk
that's
about a
part of
good
it.
ally? Like fuck Britain. Like Japan is a good ally. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
fuck the UK.
Yep.
You want to talk about a good ally? It's not Canada. It's Japan.
I've said often, if you want to know when World War III starts or is gonna start, whenever we release the leash off of Japan and you start seeing them build up, hide, because it's going to be a problem. People don't know how powerful they were back in World War II, and their old flag with the red stripes on it and what that
And
meant.
just the fact that they exist right there next to China shows how powerful they are.
They almost took over China and all of Asia.
Yeah. You don't want to fuck with Japan.
And they built up as a superpower, I think, because a naval vessel went over there and they couldn't do anything about it. So they just decided they were going to start building up.
And
That's a crazy
the thing about
population.
Japan is they're not like Germany. They're not like weird leftist liberals, you know. They're very respectful people. Like if you go to Japan, they truthfully want peace. They don't like people being loud. They don't, you know, like I really respect Japan.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's like that's a real ally. The only
and they're
reason we're
ruthless
allied,
too.
the only reason we're allied with Israel is because they're in a fucking treacherous part of the world, and they're basically us in that part of the world. You know, we don't have, you know, it's not like some kind of weird lust for Israel. Israel, what people don't realize is that Israel is just a United States base in the Middle East. That's what people don't get. They're like, "Oh, why are you supporting Israel?" Like Israel is just the United States. Like
I think
that's a military base.
the same central banks that own our country own Israel.
Yep. It's the only thing. And the truth is that when you have a contrast between Israel and the Middle East, it's going to look shitty. And when you have somebody like Netanyahu, who really is the equivalent of like a George Bush, like you're never going to really be able to make sense of it all.
Well, they've gotten rid of Live Leak and all that stuff too, so you can't see the horrors of what the people are out there. And I'm not even in that region, but around it, you can't. It's hard to find. You can find it, but a lot of that's been taken down off the internet, so you can't even see what's going on.
Yeah, when you
people
try
call
to
them
America,
savages,
when you try to create an America in the Middle East, you have Israel. That's it. Israel is the United States trying to survive in the Middle East.
and
When you
Boston
have
is
that,
correct.
that's what you have.
Japan was not cool. If you look, what's the where they did the hypothermia experiments? They're ruthless. They are ruthless. They did half of the research we have on hypothermia and
Thanks, Mark.
depressurization. I think all kinds of stuff comes from. I can't remember the name of the.
I don't know. That sounds a lot like Fauci and his Beagle experiment.
Oh, it's worse. Oh, dude, it's worse. This is on YouTube. You can look into it, but they were forcefully impregnating women from China and Russia because they were fighting with them, and taking them and taking the babies and dipping them into frozen saltwater, seawater, to see how long they then take them out and watch them freeze, and then put them back in and try to keep them alive and see how long they would live. They were doing it with people, with prisoners of war, putting their legs in ice until it's solid ice, take it out, try to thaw it out. All kinds of insanity. Drowning. Uh, they were doing the same stuff the Germans were doing. Same kind of things over there in Japan. But if you see those dogs of war activate, their manufacturing capabilities and their ability to, their ingenuity, I don't want to. I don't want to imagine. That's a powerful ally to have.
I
That's why
agree.
China doesn't like them. They destroyed China and they decimated tons of their people.
Not to
World
mention
War II.
Korea as well.
Oh yeah.
Japan is yeah, they don't, I'm telling you guys, like, they don't fuck around. We were definitely more worried about them than we were Germany, that's for sure, during World War II.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at that
And
guy.
that's why
Was it in
strategically, that's why they attacked us directly. You know, it made
what
sense.
was the Philippines? That Japanese soldier that was there until the 90s because he
Uh-huh.
didn't know the war was over and didn't surrender until his old commander came over there and told him to stop. He was still murdering people.
Hey,
He would go into villages and like take people hostage and kill them. You're talking 50 years after the war.
I mean, honestly, has any of the wars really ended? I
No,
don't think, you know what I mean? World War One never ended. We had World War II. That shit hasn't ended. I don't, when I see Germany start to remilitarize, which is what they're trying to do now, that's when I get worried.
that's why I'm getting Europe starting
Fuck
to try to do
Japan.
it.
I think Japan will always be an ally of the United States of America, only
That's the thing
because
that
of who we are.
that's-
We could have taken over the world. You know what I mean? We could have been what Germany wanted to be. We could have done that at any point. We can do that now. If we wanted to take over the world militarily right now by force, the United States of America possibly could do that overnight. If we decided to do it, we could take over the world. So the fact that we haven't done that shows that we're good. And people forget about that. People forget about that goodness. You know what I mean? They don't realize it. And that's because they're not good.
yeah. Uh, I think that's post World War II. That's the advent of the UN,
Thanks,
NATO
Mark.
during the Cold War, all that stuff. It's just that's almost our attempt to keep our crazy cousins over the pond from attacking each other and causing world destruction. It's one of the things that, like with Trump, that I've been scared of is pulling out of that because that's been our
Pulling out
only
of
way
what?
of
Say
keeping
that again.
NATO, keeping our thumbs out of keeping them from
No.
attacking. Because Europe seems like they're unified under Europe now, but they love to fight each other. They
Yeah.
love to fight each other.
So imagine being
Historically,
part of that. Like, I wouldn't want to be a part of that. That's NATO.
no, we're just like it's like NATO is like the baby gate
No.
for all that.
Yeah, NATO.
But it
NATO.
seems like it's over with now. You're the what do you call it?
When
UN
Trump,
also.
one of the main reasons that attracted me to Trump was what he was saying about NATO, and how
Yeah.
and how really it was designed to combat somebody like Russia. But really, how are you combating Russia when you have a country like Germany who is paying them to receive fuel through that pipeline? You know what I
Well,
mean?
we blew that up. We blew that up
Yeah, but why did we blow it up? We blew it up for NATO.
so we could sell them natural gas.
Yeah, see, that's bullshit.
we
Instead of blowing
stopped
that up,
diplomacy.
yeah,
so
instead
that
of
we
blowing
could,
that up, we should have blown up NATO.
Yeah.
We need to give
That's
those
the-
ideas up. We're done with those.
Oh my
ideas.
gosh,
That's an old idea. That's a World War
that
II
gas
idea.
pipeline is
Yeah.
peace.
Nord Stream.
That's a
Nord
peace.
Stream.
Yeah. Was that? Yeah, that was peace. Nord Stream 2, I think we blew up, right? The newer one.
Mm-hmm. That was an act of war.
Yeah, I think so. And our president laughed about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that right there was peace in Europe because they are mutually, it ensured mutual trade. We blow it up so we can siphon off and sell stuff too.
It's horrible,
We
man.
create our own problems.
See, people don't
It
talk about that.
sucks.
That's a Biden problem. And the truth is if Russia came into Mexico and started setting up a military base, we would invade them with force.
I don't even know if it's a Biden thing. Was it Eisenhower warned of?
No, it's a Biden
military-industrial
thing. Let me tell you why it's a
complex?
Biden thing, because Trump confronted him during his first term, and then also remember where he was like, "Oh, he kind of exposed his corruption in Ukraine," and then all of a sudden, as soon as he becomes president, there's a Ukraine war. Like this is not.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
might be
yeah.
like a surprise to some of you out there, but for me, I saw it coming.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't vote for him. Most people they voted for Biden because they were liberal Democrats. They had no idea what the fuck was going on in Ukraine. But if you were
I
paying
think.
attention in 2014, you would have seen that there were Nazis in Ukraine and they were
Oh yeah.
torturing
New
people.
York Times. New York Times has articles about it. Like the
Yeah.
people that we were aligning with and supporting
Yeah,
when
you wanna-
Zelensky
you
got
wanna
in,
call-
they've talked about.
You want to call
People
Elon
that-
Musk a
yeah.
Nazi? Why don't you look at the people who were in Ukraine in 2014 and who are
Who we
in
put
there
in
now?
power? Who
They
we
are
put in
they're
power?
Nazis. They're real
Our
Nazis.
back then, our Democrats were, and not the politicians, but our Democrat people were blowing the whistle and screaming because we put a Nazi government in power over there just to be adversarial with Russia.
Ukraine was putting videos of torturing like Russian civilians like on social media.
We did it with Iran. That's why Iran's the way it is today. We overthrew Iran. Then the person we installed got overthrown by the Shah.
Same thing with
Yeah.
Iraq.
Hmm.
Iraq
Yeah,
was
we empowered Saddam.
they
and
want
then
to
we
talk
took him
about
out.
what they want to talk about being westernized. Like these places didn't need to be westernized. They were just normal places.
They already were.
Yeah.
Iran
Well,
before we
they weren't
overthrew them. Women
westernized.
were
It's just being normal. Like being normal
Yeah,
doesn't
they
mean
were
you're
very-
westernized.
liberal and not in the today's sense.
Yes.
Democracy.
Yeah.
We destroyed democracy in the Middle East completely and then pretended that we were installing it. I think some of that I've been told is World War II, World War One, World War II, when everything was divided up into the countries that are there now.
Mhm.
We basically put people that historically hate each other together and basically accidentally or inadvertently set it up that way based on who got what land and
The Houthis.
that's yeah. I don't know much about Yemen. The only thing I know about Yemen is that Saudi Arabia had been fighting them. I don't know. I'm homeless politically, man. The libertarian stuff. I like what's going on now, but I want to see more stuff done to get away from fighting everyone. I don't want to be the country that's attacking everyone all the time.
Yeah, but at the same time, you gotta wonder. You know what I mean? Is there something that we don't know? Is this for
Sure
our
there is.
benefit? You know, is there something for our benefit down the line? Are they doing these things for us for something that we're not aware of? And if so, I'm grateful for that. You know, if I'm ignorant to it, that's great. But if not, stop.
This I think CIA people talked about it on Sean Ryan's thing. The Middle East overthrowing it. One of the reasons is they want to be the person when they reassemble themselves that they come to us, and that's the problem. Is we're
I'm not a
trying
fan
to
of
do things.
Islam. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Well,
Like,
then that's the problem. We're trying to set things up, and it's all
Yeah.
failing.
how do you
These
do
are
it?
historically war torn, like Afghanistan. Alexander the Great couldn't conquer it. We're not going to conquer it because they're hardy mountain
Yeah,
people
didn't
that
you ever
aren't
see the
going to put
movie
up with it.
300?
Oh yeah, Greece. That's Persia, dude. That's Iran.
Yeah, there you go.
They
That's
came in and
Persia.
stomped Greece to bits. Oh,
Yeah, it's a holy war. The problem
I think
is
that's-
that a lot of what's going on with the Muslim world is that they're not modernizing. They're still in the their mindset is like we still need to take over the world.
well, they were. That's what I was getting at was Iran. We set them back 200 years. We went over there and I don't know if you're hip on the Mujahideen in the 80s.
Yeah, but they're not done. Like the holy war for them is still going. Like the Christian side of it threw them back. They're like, that's fine. We're not done with our part of it. Like this is our
Well, look at-
retaliation. And it
That's
seems to be
crazy.
being successful. Like what they're doing in Britain and things like that. Like it's awful. Even in
Oh
Texas right
yeah.
now, it's
Now
not
you're gonna
looking
get
good.
into the Crusades, dog.
Yeah, the Crusades, exactly.
People forget why the Crusades happened. All they know is
Yeah.
that they heard a bunch of
Yeah,
invading. No, they
yeah,
won't even say that.
Islam versus Christianity. That's what it was all about. And I feel like that's what we're still doing. We're still there.
Well, they're doing the opposite. They're bringing them. They're welcoming in their their invaders in Europe. That's to get back to Gaddafi. Gaddafi warned you you overthrow Libya, and you'll open the floodgates of all of it from Africa into
Uh-huh.
uh, like they were the thing that held that from coming to Europe, and boom, let's overthrow him and look at the flood.
Mark says Trump got humbled, in my opinion. He doesn't have the fire he had the first time. Look, he shouldn't have any fire of the first time. Look, the thing is, nobody gives a fuck about Trump anymore. We've already got him in. We can only hope that he does what he promised to do. I don't know about
Yep,
you. I
the
don't give a
courts are
fuck.
stopping him at every turn.
Yeah, and I don't give a shit
Did you
about
see
Trump
the
anymore.
courts are?
I could care less about Trump. Fuck Trump because he's already in. There's nothing I can do. Me, it's like,
Yeah.
who's the next candidate? Who's going to
Yeah.
support what I want in there? Like, I could care less about Trump. I'm
Yep.
hoping it's going to be Vance. Maybe it'll be somebody else. I really don't care. But Mark, the thing is I don't give a fuck about Trump. The only reason I supported Trump and up until this point was because he was supporting me.
Yeah, this is where people find out that democracy might not be the best thing in a time like this because guess what? All of our enemies wait 4 years or 8 years and then they go right back to doing what they're doing. And we're
Mhm.
just going to tear ourselves apart. They're going to keep
And half of our
building.
population doesn't even know that they're helping the enemy.
Yep. I mean, look at that. We just deport a bunch of criminal cartel members and stuff from Venezuela and wherever.
Yeah, and one of them was
Our-
an American citizen, and they're fighting to bring him back right now.
He's an American citizen.
Yeah,
He became
and
a
I agree.
citizen. That's
I
the one
agree with
I
him.
saw earlier that I haven't gotten to see. Yeah, you're gonna
And
have to bring him back.
Yeah, I agree.
Is he
him back.
naturalized?
Yeah, he's an American citizen.
I mean, was he born here or did he become a citizen?
He was born here.
Oh,
But
wow.
but he's an MS-13 gang member. He's got
You can't
multiple
deport
convictions.
people who are born here.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like with the Obama thing where they were bombing American citizens who were siding with terrorism. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that.
Ooh, the Patriot Act, man.
Mhm.
That's when America lost its
9/11.
well, yeah.
And who do they blame for
well,
9/11? They blame Israel for that.
don't forget, the Patriot Act was written before 9/11.
It didn't go into effect though until after.
Yeah, they didn't put it in. That's crazy.
That's fucked up. We're all fucked. Let's just
At least the
accept
plane,
it.
they stopped covering plane
Look,
crashes
guys,
in
you
the
guys are
news.
all fucked. You guys are all fucked. All you can do is be spiritually prepared and stay connected with
no.
folks like us. You know what I mean? Like if you're not connected with the real people, you're not gonna be able to do anything.
Yeah, they're gonna have to bring that guy back. I think, J. Ray.
What's up, Chopper?
I don't think that works. I don't think you could just get rid of I don't know. I see. That's the part I don't want. Like everybody's yay, deport everybody, but I don't necessarily like some of the other stuff they're talking
you
about.
can't deport everybody. You can't deport an American citizen.
No, and if they try to change that, what defines an American? That's just going to end up being bad.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I understand the sentiment of what you're trying to do, but you got to fix that. You got to prevent that from happening.
You just got to fine tune it. You know, it's like just because an American citizen might be part of, MS-13, yay, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's fine.
Strengthen laws against gangs.
That's fine. Go ahead and deport everybody who's alien, but if he's an American, we'll talk to him in our courts.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
And strengthen your gang laws and stop
because
and
think about it, I can label any. Let's say I was president, I could label you as an MS-13 gang member, and then
that's
I could
it.
just
Oh
yeah, and
no!
then
Hey, what do you know? You know what ICP is the group,
yeah,
rap group from Detroit. You know they
hmm
declared the Juggalos a terrorist group, right?
yeah. Then and they should.
You know they're I don't know if they should. They're all a bunch of idiots.
They are a bunch of idiots. That's why they should.
But when you're declared a terrorist organization, the military can activate against
No,
you.
I don't. I don't. I don't think that they. I don't think it
It's the
was like
same.
a. It wasn't a federal thing. I think they were trying to do it
No,
as
yeah,
like.
the FBI did. Dude, it's
Mm,
yeah, they are listed the
and they
Proud
should.
Boys, all those guys. That shouldn't exist. Like
I don't
the
know.
ability to do that and then exterminate people because if it's
I don't know about
people are like
exterminating.
Antifa should be listed that way, but Antifa today,
I don't know Antifa.
Republicans tomorrow.
Sometimes I like Antifa.
No, yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
You know what I
Today
mean?
it's Antifa, tomorrow it's you. Like
Yeah, yeah,
first they came for
exactly.
the artist. Like that, I hate that. The Patriot Act and all
Like,
that ability to just
like violence is never the answer, but you know what? I don't have a problem with Antifa, and I don't have a problem with the Proud Boys. I feel
I
like,
think the same shit that happened with where the feds get involved is the same shit that happened with Antifa and
yeah,
BLM and all that. If you watch the videos where the feds were going around or
I feel
police were
like
going around breaking
Antifa and the Proud
windows,
Boys are the guys that, if they join forces, they would be unstoppable. If you take
yeah,
Antifa and you take the Proud Boys and you put those guys in the same room, they will be the anti whatever it is that's been fucking separating them.
yeah, and just look into how our feds infiltrate groups and cause havoc and riots.
In
Like,
Iran, for one, I'll be right back. Hold that thought.
mhm.
But yeah, the shit that's been going on in the United States has been doing in other countries for years. Specifically, I don't know if you guys remember Iran, but yeah, they've been trying to destabilize that country for years. I mean, right?
PatCon, yep,
But I'll be
all
right
of it,
back.
everywhere. Yeah, we've been doing it everywhere. And that's something you find out with U.S. aid in Venezuela. That's all we do is we go around and that's not all we do. We do a lot of it. We go around and subvert, destabilize. Uh, PatCon, Waco, and Ruby Ridge, and all that stuff. You find out the feds infiltrate groups and cause stuff. You see it with the Gretchen Whitmer thing. You see it with the inauguration event. Like if things are happening and the government has to get involved, fine. But uh, I think people need to be aware of what happens. Calling people conspiracy theorists over trying to figure out what's actually going on. People need to look up the advent of that term or the invention of that term. It was just meant to discredit people. That doesn't mean conspiracy theorists are all right. It means that some of it is, and you don't know what is. Heed Eisenhower's words. Reagan, was it the paraphrase? The worst thing you can hear is, I'm with the government and I'm here to help. That's from our president.
All right, I'm back. What'd I miss?
Oh, I was talking about Reagan and Eisenhower for a second.
And that might be a
Was
big
it
reason why I might have
what's
supported Trump, is
Reagan's
because
quote?
yeah, I
Uh,
love Reagan. I grew up with Reagan,
I'm with the
and
government and I'm here to help. I'm botching that quote.
No, he's talking
Eisenhower,
about
beware of them.
if you ever say you're with the government and you're here to help, you should run.
Yeah,
That's-
run.
Yeah,
That's the
run.
worst thing you can do. And then Eisenhower, beware of the military-industrial complex. Because that's the thing that people like.
I think
The
that was
Kennedy
Truman.
documents
Wasn't that
confirmed
Truman?
it.
Or I think that was Truman.
I think
who said
that's
that.
Eisenhower. That's Eisenhower's big quote.
Are you sure?
Isn't it Dwight D. Eisenhower? Somebody in the chat might know.
I feel like the Truman who said that.
Let's see. We'll get Grok.
I'm pretty sure it's Truman who said that. With the industrial complex, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Truman. Let me see if I can find it. Because I love that quote. The military industrial complex. I'm pretty sure
People
it's
don't know
Truman.
about Smedley Butler. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Famous warning about the military-industrial complex comes from his farewell address to the nation on January 17, 1961. I can't read all that because I'm driving. If you find that quote,
yeah, it says
people should know
Eisenhower.
about it.
I guess it is Eisenhower. You know what? But it says Eisenhower, but it looks like that doesn't look like
that's
Eisenhower.
And
Let's see. No.
War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. Look into that. People don't
Here,
know
let me
about
play
the coup.
this. Here, I'll play this. Hold on. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just think Eisenhower looks like Truman.
And farewell.
This speech did not get very much attention. When a new president is coming to power, as John Kennedy was, the spotlight was not on Dwight Eisenhower.
We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions.
There was a feeling at the
What? Isn't that Truman?
It's Eisenhower.
Okay, that's why I'm wrong. So it is Eisenhower. That's why I'm getting him confused.
But
let me get away from this guy. Let me actually find the speech because it is
the part I
amazing.
think people are missing with the Kennedy files. Is now everybody wants to go Israel. Like, basically, you were just confirmed that our military-industrial complex got him out because it's all the same. It's all related to war machine.
House, Washington, D.C., we present an address by the President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower. The President discusses science and national security, the first in a series of addresses scheduled in the next several weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, the President.
However,
I don't know. If that's the whole speech, I don't know where the quote is in there.
So tonight I shall concentrate on the most immediate aspects of this question of the relationship of science to the defenses of our country. First, let me tell you what I'm going to do in this talk and in my next. I am going to lay the facts before you, the rough with the smooth. Some of these security facts are reassuring. Others are not. They are sternly demanding. Some require that we resolutely continue lines of action now well begun. Others require new action, and still others, new dimensions of effort. After putting these facts and requirements before you, I shall propose a program of action, a program that will demand the energetic support of not just the government, but every American, if we are to make it successful. First then, some facts about our present security posture.
I've never seen anything better than the 80s.
But by no means should this assurance satisfy any of us.
What's up, Anthony?
Our defenses must be adequate, not just today, but tomorrow and in all the years to come, until under the safety.
What the fuck? Is that it?
No, that wasn't the quote. I don't know how to find the exact quote.
Oh my god.
It's basically the gist of it is just beware of the military-industrial complex for they have too much influence.
Exactly. And it reminded me of JFK, and then he got murdered.
That's exactly what that's why I brought that up. Is that's you read the documents.
Yeah, and
that's the CIA.
Why the fuck is President Trump wanting to talk about that? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna get himself killed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Maybe
like
he wants
Elon
to.
mentioned that in RFK. Like it. This is we're going back into this era of political assassinations and stuff, and nobody wants that. We'll just use the voting rather than doing this because you're going to end up having a civil war. People forget about the Weather Underground. They forget about the IRA. Like we live in such a nerfed environment that people don't know how dangerous things used to be.
I speak to you tonight in a spirit of hope.
See, I'm a big fan of
18 years
JFK.
ago, the event of nuclear
too.
weapons changed the course of the world, as well as the war. Since that time,
What was Nixon getting into when he got himself in trouble?
willing to escape from the darkening
Politics.
prospect of mass
Bay of Pigs. I don't know much about it, but apparently
Fuck the Bay of
something to do with
Pigs.
that. It was related to his death.
nuclear
Politics.
power to destroy the human race several times over. The world of communism and the world of free choice have been caught up in a vicious circle of conflicting ideology and interest.
They set this guy up and took him out on national TV, basically,
An increase of arms.
and his brother.
Each increase of
Everything
arms
he's saying is so
has
true.
produced an increase of tension. In these years, the United States and the Soviet Union have frequently communicated suspicion and warnings to each other, but very rarely hope. Our representatives have met at the summit and at the brink. They have met in Washington and in Moscow, in Geneva. And at
If
the
you don't
United
give
Nations.
Russia the respect they
But too
deserve,
often these meetings
we'll
have
go to
produced
war.
only darkness, discord, or disillusion. Yesterday, a shaft of light cut into the darkness. Negotiations were concluded in Moscow on a treaty to ban all nuclear tests in the atmosphere, in outer space, and underwater.
Yeah, that's long ago. Russia now has technology to destroy satellites in space.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked.
It's always been amazing that we haven't been able to ally ourselves with them since World War II.
Well, there's a reason for that.
I understood with Stalin. I get that. He's a madman.
All I can say is that hopefully there's something that I don't know. Hopefully, you know what I mean? But
I
it
hope
just
so,
doesn't
too.
feel that way anymore. I think things need to change. I feel like we need to ally with Russia. I don't give a fuck.
Same.
That's where I am right now. I feel like there's
At least
no
have
other country in the
mutual
world
respect.
that is more like us than Russia. They're a country of Christians. That's who I am. I'm a Christian, and I feel like the United States is a Christian country. If not, I might be wrong.
Well, we have a strange false dichotomy that the public doesn't understand the cognitive dissonance in, where Russia, when Ukraine's conflict started in 2020, 2021, maybe 2022, I can't remember. They're
pandemic.
weak. They're like the 18th. Their GDP is like the 18th in the
World.
world. They're but at the same time they're saying that it's Russia. They're gonna attack us. They're scary. They're the worst enemy ever. So which is it? You know, like is there a reason to fear them? Or I mean, obviously
Well, I
there
mean, it
is.
depends. Are you part of NATO? If you're part of NATO, if you're trying to dominate Russia, Ukraine is a very specific spot. Just like if I was Russia and knowing that the United States is part of NATO, a very strategic place for me would be Mexico.
Oh yeah.
So let's say I'm Russia and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and create a military base in Mexico.
Yeah. I'm going to
United
line up
States would,
nuclear missiles on your border.
yeah, United States would completely destroy Mexico. We would
Well, the
invade
Cuban
them.
Missile Crisis, dude. That's
Exactly.
kind of what they were doing.
Yeah, that's the
We're
point.
going to station
And
nuclear weapons in Cuba. No, you're not.
so, I mean, I really don't know the difference. I'm just saying, stop with the warmongering, and you won't have war.
That's our economy, though.
Well,
It's like
that's
it's a
when our
big part of our oil and
when it's
military
going.
equipment exporting.
Usually, when our economy is going down, war is usually the answer. I think that's we need to put that in the past.
100%.
And that's why they try to kill Trump. They tried to kill him, man. They tried to take him out.
Yeah,
They really did. They tried to assassinate him.
and people
twice.
don't understand this either. We have a court system right now that is basically
Anthony?
trying to act like the executive branch, whether you like Trump or whoever you like. You have a guy trying to take out a bunch of the government bloat, and the court's going in and saying what the chief executive can do with this branch, but it doesn't work that way. There's
Yeah,
laws
that's not how it
around
works.
some of it, but did you hear about the organization, something Institute for Peace, National Institute for Peace? This was pretty crazy. I don't know if a lot of people heard about it. Don't know what that is. It was some executive branch department. Hundreds of millions of dollars in a budget that nobody knows where the money was going to. The FBI tries to go in there, and the president of that organization tells them no, blockades them out of coming in. The president calls the Capitol Police to have the FBI kicked out. They had to go. The Capitol Police allowed them, but they had to go in there and shut it down by force, basically, and remove it. They had to fire that guy and remove him and put somebody else in so they could even see what was going on. It had no accountability to the federal government, and it was employed by the federal government. That's the
you
stuff
have
for all.
people.
Even
You have people taking over current colleges. They literally are going into college classrooms and taking over them in protest. And there's like no government oversight.
Isn't that kind of what happened with Brett Weinstein? I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he became a political activist.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a good example. And we don't want that. That's not what we want right now. At least I don't.
Yeah, like held him captive in his room. That's crazy.
What's up, Chopper? J Ray says, I don't like the repercussions of almost anything that Reagan did. Reagan was great. Yeah, probably the only reason that I voted for Trump was because I was born in the 80s and I remember Reagan.
My gripe with Reagan is the mental health funding that they cut. That's probably the biggest thing I'd say I wasn't a fan of Reagan's thing. Kennedy implemented a lot of the mental health things, and he removed it. And now we have people homeless in the streets everywhere.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff that they remove it's intended for the states to pick up.
Oh yeah, they're not going to. It's expensive.
Yeah, but they need to. But that's where you need to take your gripe. If you got a gripe, that's where you need to take it up with. And that's the whole point. We're the United States of America. We're not America. You know what I mean?
Oh, the Reconstruction. After the Reconstruction, the Civil War, that kind of ended federally. That's where a lot of the federal powers came from. Kind of removed that.
And I think the most important thing about the United States is the states. You know, the federal government, like they do need to be powerful and they do need to have a very strong voice. But it should be more of a voice of reason, You know what I mean? It should be more of a voice of this is where we want to be. Not that not all the states are just running rampant and they're not aligned with us. Like we need to be aligned somewhat. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
the states are important only for reasons for like what this is why Trump is brilliant. He's taking away the federal bullshit, and I think education should be with states.
Yes.
All of that stuff is amazing. Like to me that's
We had one
all
of the best education systems in the world, and since the invention or the
yes.
creation of the Department of Education, it's what is it? When I was in high school, the superintendent talked about we can either fund our school locally or we can take federal dollars. Every
Right.
dollar you get from the federal government requires $1.50 or $2 in local funding. You
Yeah,
get more
fuck the
money, but you get all these strings and more money you have to spend
Mhm.
just to get that money.
Yeah, fuck the strings attached. It should be the state, you know what I mean? That we should be focusing on when it comes to education or anything. It should be localized. It should be all about the state.
And people hear Federal Department of Education and they get mad because they think their schools are losing funding, and they're taking the things out of it and putting it where it should be. Like Department of Agriculture and school lunches. Like they're moving it back to where it's supposed to be instead of having this broad encompassing power that
Mhm.
controls what your kids learn and all that. It was
Which it
just we
should
went
never
from a
come
people that
and it should never come
man.
from the federal government. Like you should never it should never come that's not their job. Like
Mhm.
if you're worried about like Nazi Germany and some kind of dictatorship, that's what you should be worried about. Is a
Yeah.
government having total control. Like that's not what America's about. The United States of America is to prevent that. Like that's why we're here. And that's the entire reason people want to destroy us is because we're keeping other countries from becoming like a Nazi Germany. Like we're keeping them from becoming something so simple. Like, hey, we can take over by power. Like, well, no, you can't because we're obviously the most powerful country. We have the biggest military. You could take the whole world and our entire military. You can't even combine the entire world and have what we have. So therefore, if we wanted to be a dictatorship, we would take over the world. That's the greatest thing about America is that if we wanted to be what Nazi Germany was, we would just do it. We
Yeah.
would
Or
just be
China.
yeah, we could take if we
All of
wanted
them.
to right now, the United States of America could take over the world
Yep.
by force. And that's the difference between us. That's what the greatness of America is that we could take over the world if we wanted to, but hey, look, by principle, we're not going to. And I think that's what everybody's missing is the point that if we want to be Nazi Germany, um, like we could literally own the world. We could destroy all of you if we wanted to. If we wanted Iran, we could kill you. If we wanted Germany, we could just destroy you.
Well,
We
not
could
only
take
could we kill you, we could get your own people to support it and do it because
yeah.
we'll send out propaganda, fund the rebels,
Yeah,
and get you
psychologically
over.
we could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't even have to be some
Yep.
military brute force. We could psychologically fuck you over.
See the stuff where we go in with the CIA and we
Yeah.
pay celebrities in countries in South America
I
and
mean,
stuff
these
to
people
make
are depending
songs
on
that are
us.
pro
Like
whatever
you've
party.
seen France, right? Like they do this whole thing like where they want to be like when they have somebody visit, they hold hands and they're like, "Look at this." No, honestly, if we wanted to own France, we could do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's the point of
Yep.
America is that we could own you, but we don't.
Yeah.
That's not what Nazi Germany was about. Nazi Germany was about we can own you and we will, and then we'll burn you in an oven. The United States is we could own you, we could fuck you up, but we don't.
Yep.
I think I'm pretty sure I
Look-
just summarized it.
And look at the same crap they were doing there, and how we can fix our own problems. The eugenics that they implemented, we started it.
Well, the only problems
But
that we
we
have
also
is our
stopped doing it.
political leaders trying to join this global government.
Yes.
We don't want anything to do with that. And you want to know why we don't want to do anything with that? Because we've already been dominating the world, and we made a decision not to own it. We don't want to own the world. We have domineering power over the world. But guess what? Even though we're in a position to own you and own the world and destroy anything that you've ever believed in, we're not going to. That is the beauty of the United States. And the moment that leaves, that's when an evil leader will come and own the world.
That's the crazy part is all this stuff. A lot of this stuff's public too. I think you were referencing the WEF and Davos and what used to be the Bilderberg Group and things like that. It's all public now. People
Bilderberg.
People, you can look up what their plans are, and then you can watch the politicians that you think
Fauci
are doing what you voted for are not doing what you voted for. They're doing exactly what those guys want. They're not elected. They're not anything. And we do nothing about it. We're like,
it's fucking. It scares me. It scares me.
Yeah, learned helplessness is what we all have right now. Stop watching the news.
Well, anyway, I think that's gonna do it.
Heck yeah, man. I get on a rant with that stuff, man.
I think we went on some pretty good rants.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Chat, thanks for listening to me ramble. It's always fun.
Anything
Build-A-Bear.
Anything you want to finish it? Oh, Build-A-Bear. Not
Build-A-Bear
Build-A-Bear
group.
Build-A-Bear. Yeah, Build-A-Bear group. What's the difference, right?
Same thing to me.
Yeah, they're just building a bear. Anthony says we need to have allies. Oh, trust me, they will always be our allies. Even though they come out in the public and they say, fuck you, United States, or we're not going to trade with it. Trust me, they don't. Anybody that says that we're not their ally is a liar.
We need to get back to not ruling by fear and setting an example, I think, too.
Yes. Boston says, Sleuth, no one needs to rule the world. Everyone, Judy, needs to be cool and quiet, trying to take each other's stuff. Everybody share and be kind. Sounds like communism.
But it won't happen. That's human nature. We fight over everything. Look at two little kids. They're going to fight over a stick.
Yeah. Communism is a beautiful thing in
theory.
In theory. But if you want to put it in practice, just look at George Jones.
Oh, man, there's so many examples. China, Mao, Stalin, which I mean, Mao is China, but
maybe even not Nazi Germany, socialism.
Yeah. Yep. National socialism. It's all the same thing.
National socialism. It is.
It ends bad. It's the last Scotsman fallacy that everyone goes to. Communism hasn't been done. Yes, it has. The reality of it has numerous times.
And when you don't have competition, I just think that's just part of the human way is competition.
So when the Iron Curtain fell down, which way did the people run? Did they run to East Germany or did they flee to West Germany? That's the biggest answer for you.
Well, you still have North and South Korea too, as a pretty good example.
Yeah, and where do the South Koreans fleeing to every other country in the world? No. North Koreans, if they get out, they run everywhere. They don't care where they go.
Yeah, South Korea is a very great place. People are happy in South Korea. In North Korea, that's another question.
You didn't get 18 holes in one or hole in one. in a row.
Here in the United States, you can play 18 holes of golf. In North Korea, you don't get to decide whether or not you get to do that again. Like
Isn't
me
that Kim
here in the
Jong
United States,
Il? They
I'm
said
like, hey,
he hit eight,
I'm gonna play another 18 holes. In there, no. You just
18
have to
hole in
lie
ones in a
about what you
row.
scored.
Oh my goodness. Rocket Man.
I like that. Rocket Man.
I haven't heard anything about them in a while.
Well, apparently they're fighting against Ukraine and trying to create World War III.
North Korea is?
Yeah. They're fighting with Russia against Ukraine.
Are they arming them? They're not actively
No,
going
they're
there, right?
actively they're there. They're there in person.
Oh my goodness, man.
So if anybody wasn't worried about World War III, you really should be.
It's on our doorstep.
This might even be it. World War III might not be that violent. You know what I mean? But it very well could be. It might just be like a almost war.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Hopefully it's not a complete hot war. I mean, you know it's going on, all the cyber warfare. And
Well, did you see
new-
what
there's a
Russia
new
did when
Cold
they
War.
when Russia dropped those bombs over Ukraine?
Oh
It was
man.
Did you see that?
Yep. Yep, that hypersonic missile.
Yeah. That was kind of like some witchcraft. It was like, hey, the rest of the world, you guys need to know what we're capable of. And if anybody
Yep.
in the United States is trying to pick a war with that, that means
you
that
see
they're
that-
using us as people as pawns, and they don't care
Did you
anything
see
about
that
us.
they said that they've been talking about for during Biden's presidency that we don't have hypersonic missiles and we're scared of it? And immediately after that happened, they pretty much unveiled and said, yeah, we do. Like, of course we do. Of course we do. We haven't implemented them yet. But,
Well, the thing is that no, we've had those. Some other countries have had those. It didn't really scare me that I've already known that those weapons existed, but the fact that Russia decided to show that they exist, to show the world like exactly what they were, that they could
don't forget what
drop.
those are actually intended for either. Never
Yeah,
forget that.
those are
Nuclear
nuclear.
MIRVs.
Yeah, those are nuclear weapons. Like
multiple Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs falling off of those things.
yeah, what they did in Ukraine when they dropped those with no nuclear warheads would have destroyed California.
Yeah.
California would have been annihilated. And that's what Russia is trying to tell us. But the United States has had that type of technology for years now. Like, it's nothing new for us. It's only new that they have it. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Look at peace talks one day, then the leader, the quote unquote leader, says fuck you to Trump, and then goes and attacks Moscow, and then our news says that and Putin attacks back, and then our news says Putin doesn't want peace. Like, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to.
Like, honestly, I would be okay. Let's say Trump says, look, we're not going to war. Like, we're not going to war with Russia. We're not everything that's going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're not the UN, which is basically the United States. You know, we need to stop conveying that. We're not doing that. Ukraine is not joining the UN. Okay, fine. But guess what? We are going to war with Iran. Honestly, I would not cry over that.
You know, that was one of the terms that Putin offered for Ukraine for the peace thing, was to have the UN come in and hold an election to see if the people of Ukraine would actually vote for Zelensky as president.
Well, that's what Trump
and he
wants
would
to
honor
do.
it either way. But he won't do it because people are
And he
like,
won't,
he's not
'cause
a
it's not
dictator.
legitimate.
He's under martial law, and he won't. Dude, there's women are out protesting because all their kids are dead now.
And
All
I
their
might
boys.
be brainwashed. I might have been brainwashed, and it could have happened a long time ago. But if we go to war with Iran, honestly, I'm
It's gonna
not
be
going to
bad.
cry. I'm not going to cry about it. To me, that's not World War III. That's war with Iran. War with Russia through Ukraine and with China. That's World War III. War with Iran.
I think BRICS is the part that makes it World War III because Russia and
No.
China are going to activate if we go to war with Iran.
I don't
Because they're
think so.
all aligned.
I don't think so. I think
And
that
Iran is actually powerful as opposed to the rest
they
of the
are.
Middle East.
No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be like a one and done. But I feel like I'm okay with the war with Iran, only because of what they're doing to that area. If it wasn't for them, I feel like that Iran and Iraq and all of those places would just be normal. You know what I mean? They would just be these normal places that you can go to, you can visit, and
Iran?
yeah, I think I'm okay with the war with Iran. I feel like Iran needs to be fucked with.
Well, we did blow up their navy once for fun. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, I do. But I'm talking about
Oof.
I'm talking about the powers that they have over their own people right now. Like I don't have any problems with Russia. They're not doing anything to their people. When it comes to China, absolutely. I fucking hate China. Iran, I hate what they're doing to their people. I hate what they're doing, and I would be okay with the war with Iran.
What's Iran doing to their people? I'm not
They're
really hip on that.
Yeah, they're just not free. They're not free to do anything that they want. They're not they have to be Islamic, you know what I mean? Like they don't have there's no choice there. There's no freedom. There's no freedom to do anything.
I don't care, man. I don't want to be a part of it. I
Yeah,
don't want to. We've done enough of that.
No.
We've done enough trying to fix that. It's going to make it worse. We've overthrown them before.
We've never overthrown them.
Yeah, we did. We installed a coup back in the 70s. And then they
that's
overthrew it with the Shah. Yeah, no, I mean, they were a pretty liberal country, and we turned them into a fucking radical.
No, that's what I'm
shithole.
saying. And like, I feel like we installed this Islamicist bullshit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our problem.
And proxy wars with Russia for the last 50
Yeah.
years.
So I'm saying we need to undo all that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're right about that. That is
It's just too late.
It's not too late
doing that.
The thing
their
about the
people are
United
all-
States is that we're like every 4 years, we really are like a different fucking country.
No, I mean, it's too late. Like, if we try to overthrow that government, we're not going to bring peace. You've already seen the result of it. We do it in Iraq, and their people are
No,
constantly
I
at
think
war
it's
with
different
each
with
other.
Iran. I think it's different with Iran. I think whatever's going on with Iran and the United States is what's happening with Iraq. I think that Saddam Hussein, him being in power, I think may have been better for.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But we're past all that with it. We're past all that with Iran. Like Iran, what Iraq was with Saddam Hussein was not a friend of Iran. Like Iraq was what I wish Iran would be today. And what they were in the 70s, you know? I hate what we're doing with those countries. Is the bottom line.
Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, we overthrow Saddam was kind of like the glue that kept the two factions of people from killing each other, and you get rid of him and the Christians. He basically protected the Christians over there in Iraq. Same thing with Assad in Syria. You open that floodgate, and they will just go pull it, because for some reason, we don't have the ability to actually get them to. Historically, to have kings, and they're ruled with an iron fist. Like that part, we negate the history of the people in the area You think of Xerxes, it's Persia as Iran.
Mm-hmm.
They need that kind of whatever. Before they were Islamic, they still had the same type of crap. And I think our interference leads to the same. You're going to get the same result we have everywhere else. If we go to war, you're going to create basically an ISIS nest that takes over all of it, because that message spreads. That hatred and that message. That's the part that scares me about overthrowing them. And they have to be crazy strong because of all those terrorist assholes around them. They could take their government out at any time too, and their people.
Here's a blind hope that I have.
Yeah.
The blind hope that I have is that our U.S. government is doing everything that they can to keep us here back at home safe.
Yeah.
You think that's something I can count on? You think that all of the suffering that's happened in Iraq and all these other places is because of our safety?
I think that's the goal, but I think what you find out is we created all these terrorist organizations originally and funded a bunch of them, and it's coming back to roost now. The Mujahideen stuff is what led to the Al-Qaeda stuff that led to 9/11 and a bunch of our terrorist attacks.
Yeah, definitely with Russia and the United States. And then I saw
it's a personification of the past of, or what is it? Good intentions leads you to hell, basically. The path of good intentions leads you directly to hell.
Yeah, we saw what Obama did with Iraq and how ISIS rose
Bush,
up.
Obama,
and then we
Clinton.
saw what Biden did with Afghanistan.
Yeah. Well, we're fighting them as our government, but the CIA is arming our enemies, and USAID.
I mean, did we ever have to go to Afghanistan? I mean, that doesn't even seem necessary.
Oh, you mean a few Saudi Arabians take over planes and we go attack Afghanistan?
Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, we'll never.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though.
Man. Don't fall
before this, but before
captive.
we fall for any of this or blah 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 blah. Do you think that they're just keeping us in the dark because they're doing things that are actually beneficial and we just can't really piece it together?
I think they're trying to. I think they're trying to, but I think it fails.
You think that's actually? Do you think they're really trying to do
because they're not God. They're trying. I think what they're trying to do is that, but it's ending up with bad outcomes every time because they're humans at the end.
You don't think that's what I'm using that as like they're just masquerading, using that?
I would say that, except go if you think so. We've been there 20 years. Go over there and try to visit Syria or Afghanistan or Iraq or.
All I know is before the war, Iraq was a great place. Like
you could have visited. That's my point.
It was a very Western. Yeah, it was a westernized place.
Yeah. And the people that were getting attacked were crazy.
Iraq was,
but Iran was in the 70s. You could have gone over there on vacation in the 70s.
So I know, but that's what America is fighting.
Well, we created it. That's my point. They tried to do something. I think they tried to do it for oil reasons originally. But that's the problem: is we keep trying to control everything.
If it benefits the United States, is that okay?
It benefits us in one way, and then we have people.
No, I'm saying
driving electric trucks and.
Forget the electric trucks. Let's just say like the petrodollar is extremely important, and the fact that they go to these wars and yeah, me too. So if they do all these things and we don't see it on the surface, but if it's beneficial to us in the long run, should we just shut the fuck up?
No. I mean, it's if it were actually beneficial.
What if it is? What if we just don't see that angle?
Well, I mean, Einstein's definition of insanity applies. We've seen the results over and over again, and we're going to do the same thing in Iran.
Yeah, but we all have our own.
It's the communists. It's the last. That's their abject hellholes that you can't.
Yeah, but what you think is insanity might be different from others' interpretation of insanity.
Okay, so I go off the objective. No, I'm going off the objective criteria. As a non-Muslim, can you go to any of those places we mentioned. But
Well,
we
you're
want to
already
do the
making
same
that
thing.
mistake. That's your biggest
Well,
mistake is saying non-Muslim.
Most of the world's non-Muslim.
Well,
We
but you're
don't. We
talking about in
created
an area.
we created an entire region
No,
that
no, no,
before
no.
you could go. You could go to
You
Syria.
can't
You
talk
could go
about
to
an area.
Iran.
Yeah, but first of all, you need to start your interpretation as a Muslim.
As a
Not
Muslim, you can go visit there. As anyone else, you can't. And that's
no,
what we
but you need to
created
think
over there.
about Muslim principles. You need to think like, am I sacrificing those? I feel like you're not giving it a realistic interpretation.
What do you mean? I'm saying we've blown up the entire
Not
thing and
we,
destroyed all
not-
the.
Yeah, but stop
We, the
thinking
United States.
Yeah, I'm not talking about we. I'm talking about we might be living in regret for that. I'm saying the folks
course.
is there. Like, what are they thinking?
Bro, they're terrified. If they step out of line, they die. Or if they disagree with the crazy rat, like think about the Taliban running Syria.
says,
You step out of
"Shit."
line, you get your head chopped off. That's what I'm getting at. It wasn't quite that way before. That's all. And it's not even. I understand
it's been that way in Saudi Arabia for a long time, but in Egypt, in Iraq,
I'm not a fan
it
of
was
Saudi
pretty.
Arabia.
Yeah, me neither. And it was a pretty good westernized location.
But you notice we don't attack Saudi Arabia. Everywhere
Not
else that was
yet.
pretty
I think
liberal,
that
we
we
attacked
will.
them.
I think
do
we
too.
will. I think in World
think-
War III, I think that we were going to fuck up Saudi
if
Arabia.
if the petrodollar dissolves completely, then there'll be no reason not to, and I think they're terrified
Yeah.
of the same thing.
Yeah, I think.
Not to mention, we cut off
they'll
their
be
military.
they'll be the first people that we fuck up. Is
we
Saudi
armed
Arabia.
the shit out of Saudi Arabia. That goes away, they're fucked. Because we
And
can
they've been
produce our own
exploiting
oil.
that. They've been exploiting
Yeah.
that. They've been like
Of course.
trying to become us, while we've been trying to save the world. And I don't think we're going to tolerate that.
I understand the plight to go to fight Iran, but I feel like a diplomatic strategy, not giving them money and helping them
Like
with their
Biden?
nuclear program. Well, Biden, Obama, yeah. I don't think that's the answer, but sanctioning them into no end
What
doesn't
about
help
bombing
either.
their like nuclear facilities? What if we just bomb their
We already
nuclear
do it.
facilities?
We already do it. Israel just did it recently.
I'm saying we do it like for real, and then that's it. It's like, hey, we bombed your nuclear facilities, and then we're gonna make sure you guys have like fair elections and things like that. I would be okay with that.
I don't know that we have the right to ask them to have elections. I don't think that's our job.
I mean, is anything our job? Is it our job to keep the guy from fucking?
Well, I mean,
the
is
old lady?
democracy right for the Middle East? Is it our decision to make?
Yeah, it is. It is our decision. Because if it ain't our decision, it's their decision. You know what I mean?
Well, that's my point. Those people historically, just like the Chinese, historically have been monarchy,
and I don't care. You know, the
right,
United
but you
States,
install a democracy. Look what happened in Iraq when we installed a democracy. What happened? How long did they last? Or Afghanistan after we pulled out? How long did they last? They're not people who can be ruled like that.
That's my
They
point.
will overthrow it immediately.
Like
you can't
as
change
long
that
as long
unless,
as long as the United States has a good grasp on right and wrong, it doesn't matter what they think.
We can get rid of the government, sleuths, but we can't change the people. We've been
I don't
trying
care.
for 20-some years.
As long as we know what right and wrong is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But do we
We
invest
gotta keep
all
a
of
grasp
our
on that.
do we invest all of our resources
Yes.
into everyone else's problems, or do
Yes,
we try to
because-
fix what we have here because we're falling apart?
Well, we have to fix here first, and I think that's what we're doing. But we need to be able to do it all at the same time. We need to be able to fix what's wrong here, and then we also need to keep these people from getting into a position where they can hurt us.
Yeah. Well, and that's the strong defense is a better offense. Is what I'm getting
Yes,
at. Keep it here.
exactly.
We have half our country wants to demolish our country right now, and they want to burn everything down. That's what I'm. It's crazy, dude. You gotta.
Yeah, they do, and we need to address that. But at the same time, we can't overestimate them. You know what I mean?
And to tell Iran they can't have nuclear weapons,
Yes.
It sucks. But what happens
No.
what happens to every country in the Middle East that doesn't have nuclear weapons?
It doesn't matter, honestly. It
No, it
doesn't matter.
does. It does.
It doesn't.
Every nation that doesn't have nuclear weapons over there, we overthrow. Every
Mhm.
single one. We've
And I think
overthrown
that's
every
okay.
single one.
I think that's fine. I think it's fine that we do that.
It's a
As long
deterrent
as
from
as long
us
as
being able to subvert
as
the
long as the United States isn't in a position of being like a Nazi Germany, you know, where we're overstepping our bounds, I think that's fine. As long as we
No, but
continue to create peace,
we're
um,
not. We're
we are though.
fostering death and destruction. No, the entire Middle East is at war with each other all the time because of the shit we've done.
It's not
You
because
know
of
that.
us. It's not because of us.
Well, you just talked about it. Iraq was
No.
nice.
They
Afghanistan
were,
wasn't the way it is.
but what about their history? Don't
Syria.
forget. Don't forget their just because we have
You mean
our own history
Babylon?
doesn't mean you can forget their history. There was the Iraq-Iran war. Like you can't don't forget.
Well, of course they go to war with each other.
Like what are you talking about? Like don't forget.
We're at war with almost everyone in the entire world, dude.
Well, we have to
If
be.
we're not at war, we have special forces activated.
If we're not at war with the rest of the world, their darkness will take over the world. The thing is that the United States is a breath of fresh air, and if we don't do what we do,
We're a
they
breath of
will
fresh
be.
air and also cancer because we talk about going to war with the cartels. Our CIA created, funded, and created the cartels. So all the destruction and havoc that we get here with drugs and all the cartel violence down in Mexico and the Central America all
Yeah,
started
but
with
what
us.
it is it's our past versus our present.
Yeah.
So our present, who we are now, needs to defeat the evil that we were. And we can't just say, oh, well, the evil that we were, we have to allow, we need to allow and keep it
yes.
in existence. No, we have to correct, the wrongs
And you
of the
starve
past.
off by cutting off the drugs and the money to those people to do that.
And
not
that
by
goes
just
with
going to war.
and that goes with terrorism too.
Yeah, and you do like Trump did in his first term. ISIS, instead of doing what Obama was doing and arming ISIS while we're fighting, while our troops are dying against them,
Do you remember
you join
the
with
operation?
Russia and you go and fucking destroy ISIS in 2 weeks.
Do you remember the operation that we did with France, where Syria launched that chemical attack, and then we launched that very precise attack with France?
Oh, the
using
Moab?
Man,
That one?
what that was a show of force to the rest of the world. And the truth is that our allies will always be France, will always be Britain, will always be these groups of people. And if we wanted to, we could blow up the entire world at any point. There's no changing.
The scarier part is finding out that a lot of the chemical attack stuff that they were using, a lot of it wasn't even true. The intel.
Yep.
They wanted to overthrow Assad. That's our CIA doing that crap.
There's only one way to end it. There's only one way to end all of that. And I think that
they already overthrew
Trump
Assad.
is the beginning of all of that. Barely. I mean, you're talking about
the Taliban or
yeah,
ISIS,
but you're talking about like
sect.
That's like recent events, though.
Yeah, it's done. It's all over. Assad's done. Syria's fallen. All the Christians are being slaughtered, and Muslims.
And how did that start? It all started with a protest and their own government shooting their own people. So when you see
Syria?
Syria, when you see your own government
but who started the protest? Because this is another thing that, like, who started the protest? Who was actively trying to overthrow that government?
It was probably us. But the truth is that the government should never, ever open fire on their own people. The moment that you do that, your government is null and void.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what happened in Ukraine.
Do you know about
in 2014? In 2014, Ukraine, they opened fire on their own civilian during a protest. Their own civilians during a protest.
Do you know Shays Rebellion here, right after Revolutionary War?
during the Cold War,
No.
during
Back in
during
the
during the
19th
JFK
century.
stuff.
No. Back right after the Revolutionary War here in the United States. Shays Rebellion. They didn't like the Constitution and how much power
Che
it allowed.
Guevara? Che Guevara?
No, these are these are farmers. They didn't like how much power the Constitution was
Oh,
allowing
you're
the
talking
federal
about
government.
Chavez. You're talking about Chavez.
No, this is before any of that shit. This is when we had 13 colonies that became the United
Yes,
States.
you're talking about
Our
Chavez.
government went in and killed all of them.
You're talking about Chavez.
No, Chavez wasn't even a shit. His 8 grandfathers weren't even alive. Back 8 generations. Yeah, we did it here. They tried to overthrow our government because it was too strong. And we killed them. Right? It's like our civil war here. Should whatever France have come over here and destroyed our government because we were attacking our own people? Like, that's just not our fight, man. And it always ends bad. It's like, think of a couple.
Hold that thought. I'll be right back. But I think that's apples and oranges. But you have people asking
I
questions.
think it's like a couple. You have a couple friend that want to fight in front of you. You pick a side, you always lose. I think it's similar to that. I try to keep up. Work a lot. Mark, I did. I lost my channel. I'm on Twitter right now. I'll have something else coming up. Twitter, Curious Contrarian. I'm an isolationist to some extent. Unless something happens here, I don't want to fight. I don't want our people dying over it. But I also know that our country likes to provoke things so that we can go to things. Gulf of Tonkin, for example, that whole fiasco with Vietnam. I'm tired of being in the sand fighting each other, and millions of people are dead because of that. I don't want to see it. We go to war with Iran, millions more will be dead. And unlike the rest of the countries we fought, Iran's very powerful. And some of the people here that follow the same or adherent to the same ideology might activate if we go attacking them. I don't know.
All right.
I'd rather see us go and make China a democracy before Iran.
That's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. Iran either, or Iraq, or Afghanistan, or Syria, or
well, it already happened. It already happened in Iraq, and it already happened in Iran. So as long as we don't get involved, it may happen again.
No, it hasn't happened. The Taliban pretty much runs all that shit. That's not democracy.
No, I'm talking about Iran in the 80s and Iraq and the early 90s and 2000s. They were fine.
I think leaving them alone might be the best thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Leaving them alone, it may happen. You know what I mean?
That's what I was getting at, because I think you were saying going to war with them. Like, no, we've lost them.
No, I'm saying right now we need to go to Iran to fix what we caused.
Yes.
I'm not saying going to war with them is something that
I would rather align with those guys.
Yeah. That's what
well, they keep saying that Iran's funding terrorism. I'm like, what the fuck have we been doing for 20, 50 years?
Yeah, what's
funding
Israel
and
doing?
training? What the fuck have we been doing?
Well, the question is, this is my only thing
Osama bin Laden's CIA handle name? Tim Osman?
Yeah, my only question is, I just hope that they're doing it for our benefit. You know what I mean? Like that's my only hope, is that all this horrible shit that you guys have been doing, hopefully you're doing it for our benefit. If not, we have to fucking stop doing it. We got
Let them handle their shit, and yeah, foster them fucking fixing their own problems and try to reach some sort of peace where we're not interfering because they don't want fucking Western values and Western shit over here. Leave them alone then. Fuck them.
And at one point they did. They already had it, and then we
Yeah,
destroyed it.
Yep, I keep poking the hornet's nest. Why are they stinging me? Why do they keep? I'm just trying to see what they're doing. Come on. That's all I could.
Exactly. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for our live stream. Dan, you got anything you want to throw out there before we get out of here?
No, I love you guys. If we differ on stuff, any of you guys, I'm okay with it. I'm not right, not wrong. I'm probably wrong, but
No, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Like that's the whole point. Like we're just people. We just are.
I want to see people able to live. I want everyone to have that right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But I can't force it on other people. I can't shove it down their throat.
Yeah,
They got to get there themselves.
what we have in the United States is a great thing. I don't know, like the fact that
we overthrew that shit. We didn't have somebody come over here and overthrow it for us and then force it down our throat. They have to come to their own. They have to get to their own revolution.
But I also feel like people are trying to take it away from us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what scares me.
Yeah, I love all you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Sleuth, it's always fun, man.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. It was a great live stream. I think we dropped some truth bombs, actually.
Mm-hmm. Always yield to peace, conflict, conversation, family, everything, guys.
Love is the answer.
There's a time for war, but that's generally a last resort in friendship and family.
Yep.
And read The Art of War. Everyone should read The Art of War.
Sun Tzu.
It'll change your life.
It will. A lot of everything that I do in life, a lot of that comes from that book.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yep. But all right, man. Try to have a wonderful weekend. Take care of Mama Bear. She'll take care of you.
Oh, she does. She's a great woman, man. I'm happy. Like, honestly.
Me too.
I'm a happy guy. But everybody, have a great night. And thanks for calling in.
Yep.
Not Curious Contrarian.
I'll be back to this platform eventually.
No, just do it. Just do it the right way next time.
Yeah.
Establish yourself, get a good following, and
I'm not doing I'm probably never going to get into the other topic again. That's such a sour taste in my mouth. Hey, if I go talk to people, but I'm never bringing it. I'll go under an alter ego. All right.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you guys again very soon. Have a good rest of your night. Take care, everybody. J. Ray. Yep, we're out of here, Anthony. It's good to see you, by the way. You guys take care of yourselves. Until next time. Peace.